see what if I can remember my password without having to look it up. Okay, yeah, we're in. Beautiful. So I'll be watching the. I think we're live on Facebook, yeah. All right. So for some reason I do not see that in my stream, which is odd. Did you load my Facebook page to check that? Yeah. All right. Huh. Well, I don't know why I don't see it. Oh, now I see the live blog. As long as you can see it, Kurt, I guess it's good. So we've got Kirk. He's basically watching the social stream. And then Colton is doing our guest greeting at the door. We're all wearing our brand new Geek News Central green shirts. So I hope you like the color. Nice and bright. I don't know if the blue and the green in the background clash. But so home innovation is big. And, of course, startups are big in Tech West. And we will be here for the entire show. And 97% of the guests are coming out of this hall, 2 floors, around 1,500 vendors in this specific area, 800 startups. So I'm excited to be able to, basically go down and do interviews on the floor with startups, and then we'll be good. So, all right. So we got our first guest. But so is this? And I'm going to be talking over the topic. Is this Rob is this the first actual interview? Okay. All right, cool. All right, fantastic. So bring him on in. And I know there's a labyrinth to come in here.
Like at the stroke of 10.
They wouldn't let you in a second early. Come on in and sit down, Rob.
How are you?
Good. How are you? So
Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you. So I've got Rob. Is it Dyer from Game Vice with me this morning? And Rob, what are you going to show us this morning? What are you guys introducing here at CES?
I don't know if it's so much introducing, but we've become much more mainstream in the sense of having a controller that hooks into your directly. It's not a Bluetooth.
I'm gonna apologize. I'm gonna reach right on by you.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to get used to positioning that as people sit down here.
Okay.
Go ahead.
And it hooks into your Lightning port, and what it does is gives you immediate feedback on any game you're playing. And so what it does is it allows games that are really poor with touchscreen to actually have a chance to be played on a phone.
So it's just actually a controller.
Yeah. It's exactly what it is.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it really turns your iPhone or your Android phone into a PSP.
Yeah.
We cinch it up in the back. It tightens up. So this model will fit anything from a 6 to a 10.
Okay.
We sell these inside of Apple, Costco. They're going live in Best Buy, $79.99. And we have a huge array of games, about 1,000 games. And these are all games that just are really difficult to play at touchscreen. Street Fighter, Grand Theft Auto, FIFA, Call of Duty, games that you love playing, NBA 2K, but that when you have your fingers all over the screen just makes it really difficult.
Right. So, for me, I don't do much gaming, but of course my kids do a lot.
Yep.
So probably the target market for this, what do you think your age groups are? Probably going to run the full gamut, isn't it? Or?
Exactly. And the beauty of it, so not only is it for your phones, we have it for iPads, iPad minis, all the tablets in the Apple world. So if you have younger kids that you don't want to get phones to, but they play with a pad, we have that as well. But yeah, you're right, Todd. It runs a gamut. From look, I still play games. We have, like I said, over 1,000 games on our catalog that are accessible. If you want to be playing MOBAs like Lineage, which is completely PvP, playable here. We're able to do Minecraft, so for the younger crowd, that's available. I play a lot of sports stuff,
Yep.
so I like playing 2K. My son's 14; he plays 2K on this. It's just a matter of what genre you're into, but it literally turns this into a console device.
Awesome. So, strictly iOS at this point?
No, we have Android as well. So it works for the S7, the S8, two separate models, and we are working with Samsung on for next gen as well.
All right. So, folks, if you guys want to pick up one of these, it's real simple. Go to GameVice.com or Apple, Best Buy,
Costco.
and Costco.
There you go.
So it's perfect. $79.95. Available now, or
Available now.
all right.
Bingo, bango, bongo.
That's how we do it, folks. Fast and furious here.
Awesome.
Thanks for making time. I know you probably ran from the door
As fast as I could. In a sweaty mess right now.
And at least you're not. I hope your booth's not flooded, because some booths are flooded.
It's a mess out there right now. It really is, Todd.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it. Thanks for having
Absolutely.
us. Take care.
Absolutely outstanding, folks. Game Vice, and pick one of those up. You can't beat the price. $80. Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate it. And we actually, he's leaving us one, and we'll give this away.
Street Fighter version.
Oh, and a Street Fighter version. Beautiful. All right. So I think we're set up. We're going to have our next guest come right on. And one thing I'm looking at, double check. Can you double check TPN.TV and make sure that stream is up? So for some reason on the iPad, when I load it, I don't see the embeds. That's really weird. Have them just come right on in, and we'll have a back and forth with him. So, and I'm probably going to be at a maybe at a distance. Come right in and sit down. I know it's kind of tight in here, so let me get you set up. I think we're on the cord. Okay, yeah, all right, good. And all right, and I'm at a disadvantage. I don't have your name.
Kevin Robinson with Wi-Fi Alliance.
Kevin, glad to have you. We've had the Wi-Fi Alliance on the show a number of times throughout the years. You guys, you're big. You got a whole huge consortium of companies that you work with. What's new at the Wi-Fi Alliance?
Well, first maybe to start out, because I mean you're probably familiar with Wi-Fi Alliance. I'm not sure how familiar many of your viewers are.
Right.
But Wi-Fi Alliance is the worldwide network of companies that brought you Wi-Fi.
Sure.
So it's the who's who in the connectivity space. Walking the halls of CES, pretty much every hall, every row you're going to bump into a Wi-Fi Alliance.
That's right.
member.
Yep.
And one of the most important things that we do is we administer Wi-Fi Certified, which is a certification program to ensure that users' devices work well together regardless of the vendor.
Right.
So no matter who you buy it from out on the showroom floor, you're going to take it home and it's going to work well. In terms of some of the trends we're starting to see, one of the big ones is that the nature of connectivity and the experience that vendors are trying to deliver is really getting a boost and is becoming an even richer experience. So one example of that is many of the practices you see in the enterprise space are starting to make their way into the home.
Okay.
Great examples are going to be with where you've got multi-AP solutions, whether it's an Eero, a Plume, Orbi, Google Wi-Fi, etc. A lot of these are taking the practices that you've got in the enterprise, multiple access points, transitioning clients from one to another, and bringing that into the home. Another great example is we're even starting to see builders integrate Wi-Fi into homes from the day you move in.
I don't know if it would be smart to build it within the walls, but it'd sure be nice to have places to stash gateways and your routers and all that stuff where it's just it's there and it just works. So
well, here it's built into the home. I mean, think of when you walk into an enterprise. The access points are built into the ceiling, just like a smoke detector.
That's true,
and that's the exact experience you get with frequency planning, everything that goes into developing a very robust network, and it serves as a strong complement to more of the retrofit scenarios where you have a multi-AP wireless mesh or a multi-AP environment like that.
My daughter was always complaining because she's in the corner of the house where the Wi-Fi is the weakest, and finally we kind of fixed that through some multi-spots, but and she's a happy camper now that she has good Wi-Fi. But the frequencies are, do you see any more expansion beyond where we're at from where we are in all the different spectrums that the Wi-Fi's in?
It's interesting you bring that up. Absolutely. We've actually done, within Wi-Fi Alliance, have done some research and studies on how much spectrum is required to stay ahead of this expanding explosion in demand for data. And we need about 1 gigabyte, sorry about that, 1 gigabit of
It's okay.
No, I know. Need about another gigahertz of additional spectrum.
Wow, that's a lot, though.
Which is a lot.
Yeah.
But what we're seeing is that the FCC, in fact, has been very open, and there's a potential rulemaking that'll be going on to look at adding the 6 gigahertz spectrum for unlicensed.
Most of you probably don't know this, but the RF spectrum is broken up into segments, and everyone gets a little piece, and some of it's commercial, some of it's military, some of it's, and there's not a gap. And in order to find a spot, they have to give you a spot, or they have to give you a frequency band that you can operate in, or and within certain limitations too, and power and all that goes into it. So,
or you find ways to share with incumbents, and that's that's kind of the nature of getting spectrum today, is that you need to find ways to coexist and share with incumbents in a band, and that's likely to happen in 6 gigahertz as well.
So I know you work with a lot of vendors. Is there anything that you've seen, and maybe you can't speak to a specific vendor, but have you seen anything here that really excites you that people should be looking for coming out in the next 6 months, product-wise?
Nothing in particular from a given vendor. I would just say that definitely in the connected home space, and of course we're over here at the Sands, where it's kind of the epicenter of all the connected home devices. And what it really illustrates is that connectivity, and particularly Wi-Fi, is going to be foundational to the home going forward. And for all of these devices out here, which the majority of them probably using Wi-Fi for that connectivity, providing very good connectivity, a great experience in the home, is going to be a foundational aspect of that. And that's very much what Wi-Fi Alliance and the industry is focused on delivering.
If you folks think you've got a lot of Wi-Fi networks that show up in your neighborhood, you ought to see the number of Wi-Fi networks that show up at CES. There's like 100 of them. They're like, they're on top of one another, but it's fun. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Glad to have you guys, and then good luck with the show, and look forward to see what's coming out of the Wi-Fi Alliance and the entire industry that's got everything connected.
Right.
So thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
So anyway, folks, that's Kevin Robinson with the Wi-Fi Alliance, and of course I'm Todd Cochran with Geek News Central at geeknewscentral.com. And what's really odd here is the iPad doesn't allow me to see the chat room or what's going on in Facebook. So I don't know what the story with that is and why. And let me open up the app. Maybe the app will allow me to see the discussion points, but it's a little annoying, to be honest with you. Oh, there we go. I can see the comments now on Facebook. Aha! All right, so my important thing is to watch the comments. And let me see if I can squeeze this down. All right. So everyone that's watching, make sure that you put the word out that we are live. Our Twitter feed is live and kicking. Now, did you guys notice on that interview, he was watching me more than was watching the camera? So we can do everything we can for guests to try to present them, but they forget that they're live, and so some people have a better on-presence camera than others. So anyway, very, very cool. Okay, so our next guest, who is supposed to be arriving just about now, is not here. So we'll have to continue. Any comments for any of the folks online that I should know about? About the what? Oh yeah, we're definitely at Tech West is where we're at today, and we're on the second floor, on the back side of the convention center. The goal, really, our goal was to be on the first floor, and ironically, we showed up here on. What is today? We showed up here on Sunday with all the gear and rolled up, and our coordinator met us, and she goes, "You guys are on the wrong floor." I'm like, "No, we're in. This is the booth that we're supposed to be in." And she told me, she said, "Well, I've got a note here that you wanted to be downstairs, and a spot has opened up down there. Well, since November 1st, I have been emailing vendors, following up with vendors, reminding vendors that we are at booth 40030 on the north level 2 and mapping and all this stuff. So if it had been 2 or 3 weeks earlier, we would have been downstairs exactly where we wanted. So I told the gal, I said, do you please remember who bailed on you and who's here. Next year we want downstairs because there's 800 startups in that area. We're actually on the floor where the Home Alliance section is, which is fine. We're easy to get to and be found. But just like anything else going on with Typical's first day of the show, the challenge we have here is that, number one, we don't have a lot of fill. So in other words, we haven't had a lot of teams out doing interviews already, so I don't have a lot to backfill during dead air. So I have to cover. And we have and guests that miss. So in all reality, we probably shouldn't start our live programming until noon on the first day, but we're suckers for punishment, and we continue on. But so the set we're in, let me just talk a little bit about the set. We're in a 10 by 12, essentially cage, felt walls, and we have right outside across the hall is our vendors, and people are walking the floor already. So we are right here in the mix of things, but we're in a very small area. Right next to us, we have folks that they're hooked to a satellite truck, and they're doing audio stuff for radio nationwide. They're like every 10 minutes they're on a different radio station, and they're doing spots and doing interviews, not necessarily like this, but they're doing reports about CES that's going on. To this side, nothing. It's an empty room. So we've got the combo, and we're going to expand into that. We're trying to figure out how we can knock the wall down. And we have a history here of, I won't say encroaching, but when we've done the North Hall before, they would give us a 10 by 20. But the funny thing about and we'd be in an area where there was no one right or left of us, and the stanchions would expand. So the first thing we did was immediately expanded the stanchions as far as we could, and we'd end up with a 10 by 30 space at least. And it was fantastic. There was plenty of room to spread out. Here, you get more than 3 or 4 people in the room, and it's a party. There's, especially with the table here, we've got the table for the gear, and we've got Kirk and the team that's running social media and taking care of the guests that come in, and all of that. So, as expected, my phone, typically we have a phone number we give to all of our guests to say, if you can't make it, if you're going to be late, please call us. We have a special phone that we leave right here in the studio, that the person that is our coordinator, he or she answers the phone for that, but invariably they'll end up calling my phone and saying, hey, we don't know where you're at, or we're lost, or we're running late. And in this instance, the phone call started 2.5 hours ago here in Vegas. People, they were freaking out because of the weather. So I don't have Phil for you as far as interviews from the floor. So you guys are gonna have to bear with me here as we move into this. But let me talk just a little bit about what has transpired in the past couple of days. There was a CES unveiled, where basically it's a press event that happened on Sunday night, and it was typically wall-to-wall people. I have regrettably no longer go to that event because I would spend 4 hours and fight to get 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 interviews, and end up relatively frustrated just because there was all the press goes there, they get their fill, then I think they go drink the rest of the show. Not all, of course, but It's definitely a high density event, so I was not able to get down, and I actually made a choice not to go to the event. But we've had some evening events, meeting with vendors. I was down early for CES. I'm still under NDA on a 2-day event I had out in the desert. The company has not released me from my NDA, but I guess they figured a target of opportunity. You got a bunch of tech geeks that are coming to Vegas, entice them to come a few days early, give them something to do that they normally would not have a chance to do. How can I say this without busting my NDA? But I spent 2 days out in the desert. I've got lots of content that at some point I'll be released to be able to talk about. But at this point, I'm still on lockdown from those 2 days of events. So our 10:15 guest has not arrived, and we had a 10:30 cancellation. So this might be a good time again to, if you're at the office and working, maybe come back in about 15 minutes with us. I don't want to tell you to shut the stream off because we want you to be on the stream, but for the next 15 minutes or so, we're not going to have a lot going on here, and until we do, I'll at least try to fill and keep the party moving here. I will say that my 2 team members are here. Colton is he's here he's going to be running the camera for me when we leave this room. We're going to be going out on the floor and finding that extra content that we can feed when guests don't show up. And then if you're watching our live blog, whether it be on geeknewscentral.com or on tpn.tv or thegadgetprofessor.com, we've got a live blog on there that'll have lots of pictures. We'll have lots of fill of things that are happening here at CES. So basically keep your appetite satisfied as far as content goes. And I was actually going to load this up and look. Now that's weird. Now on Geek News Central, I see the chat room and I see the live blog. Why don't I see that at tpn.tv? I see the live blog, but I don't see... Oh, there it is. All right, I do have everything. What? Earlier it didn't, so I don't know what the story was there. Oh, I know what was going on. Okay. All right, so we do have chat on both sides of the fence, and but let me tell you just a little bit about what happened yesterday when our system wouldn't stream. So when you have a TriCaster, your first recourse before you call support is, because you know what they're going to make you do. They're going to say, have you and we've got the ability through a hard drive, external hard drive, to restore the machine back to a base configuration. You do a quick download, bring yourself up to the stream dropped. So are we still online on Facebook? Yeah, I saw the stream go down. So just refresh the Facebook page and see if it started again. Yeah, you don't keep that full. Keep that a partial page. That's the only way you can really monitor it. All right, I think we're still up. Are we still up? Yeah. All right. Yeah, I saw the flash that it had went down. So I know that YouTube. Oh no, maybe we are. Yeah, I'm not convinced we're still up on Facebook. So let me put the lower third up for a second. I can tell if we're on. Yeah, I'll look at it here. Oh yeah. Well, maybe not. What does the YouTube stream say? So you're not the encoders. They're not getting anything. So it's red on YouTube. Oh shoot! This. So at 9:10 this morning, the internet went down, and we don't know why it went down, but we basically had to. We called our coordinator. They came in, and we didn't get internet back until 9:40. And they gave us a whole new IP scheme, so I had to reconfigure the machines, get everything back up, and I was literally in absolute panic mode for a very short period of time. So how come I can't see? Let me look here. Okay, now I can see that. All right. Yeah, I've got the ability to monitor what's on the computer screen that Kirk is using. Yeah, so we're good. So yeah, I was in absolute panic mode here for about 10 or 15 minutes until they got our internet back online. So I don't know if they just reset the router or what, but that's going to be something we'll have to deal with. So this is, hey guys, this is typically what happens on the first day of the show, and with people not showing up. So, well, hopefully the 10:15 guests will find a way to get over here. And I bet you if I check my email, I bet you they'll say, "Oh, we can't make it," or something to that effect. But the problem with trying to even check email at the show is that let me see where it's at now. Since we left breakfast, 76 new emails. So not a small email day. All right, folks. Well, we'll be back in a little bit with our next guest, and just watch the Twitter stream. We're not going to shut the stream down, but we'll be back directly. I just don't think I can talk for 45 minutes without anybody here.
That was kind of my bad. That one interview.
Actually, videos a day, typically about a month.
Vendor or no, he was the guy.
Here and it looks cool. Bring him in. No, that's new.
That's new.
Matt? Yeah, I don't know if they think I like.
Tell them you don't.
Wi-Fi point. Because I'm standing out here.
Outside, we can actually. Yeah. Okay, we can get her in now. All right, folks, we're back, and our next guest is early, so we're going to be able to get them right in here to sit down. All right, come on in. And if you want to put this on, and then just make sure the mouthpiece is up to your mouth. Yeah, little tight fit back here. All right, cool. And is it Yazan?
Yazan, yes.
All right, Yazan, welcome to Tech Podcast Network's coverage here at CES 2018, and you're with Mira?
Mira.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about your device. Tell me about Mira, then tell me about the device.
Sure. So Mira is a smart home
Oops,
health.
sorry, go ahead,
Sorry.
yep.
So Mira is a smart home health testing platform. So our first product is called Mira Fertility. And so what we're essentially doing here is quantitative hormone tracking, and provides fertility insights based on the data that's coming in through this device here. So the device is comprised of two parts. It's a Mira analyzer as well as a Mira fertility wand.
Okay. I've got 4 kids, so I'm kind of familiar with something that kind of looks like that. So I'm assuming it serves the same purpose.
Exactly. Yeah. So this is actually a urine test.
Right.
Right. So it's easy to use. You put it inside the Mira analyzer right here.
Yep.
And once this conducts a fertility test, essentially a quantitative hormone analysis, that data is automatically sent to the Mira app.
Mm-hmm.
So it's over a Bluetooth connection.
Sure.
Automatically sends that data, and for couples that have been trying to conceive, it gives a fertility insight using machine learning and AI algorithms that we've set up.
So it's tracking that.
Exactly. Yeah. It's tracking it over time.
Yeah.
And it gets more accurate. So it's using fluorescence immunoassay technology, which is a little bit different than what's currently on the market.
Right.
So it's able to provide that direct, quantitative number, whereas previously people only had plus or minus, or like a smiley face, or it's really vague.
Right.
So we're really cutting all
Or
that
some
out.
of them were using some wise tale of whatever. Yeah, right,
exactly.
right.
Yeah, so we're really just tracking hormones. It's the most internal way to track fertility. So it's direct, and really cuts out all those secondary.
So
features.
does the ladies find then that over a couple of months that they're able to? Does it stay pretty consistent then over a couple of months, or do the ladies find that they're surprised that the time has shifted right or left a little bit, or what's been the end result?
Yeah, so really this, the end result in terms of the technology behind this is that it takes data over time, and using machine learning learns the person's cycle,
right,
and provides that analysis that's really personalized to that person,
right.
So it's not like you're using just a test strip where it's just telling you yes or no. It's not carrying over any information.
Sure.
So this gets more accurate over time, and for example, you see here, you can see people's cycles being tracked over time, and on the tracking device here, you can see the quantitative numbers shown over time, and these are actually hormone levels.
So with the red spike, if you guys can see that, it's kind of bright in here. So with the red spike in that, would that be like that's the best time?
Exactly. So that'd be peak fertility. Right before ovulation.
Awesome.
And for more of a user-friendly experience, you'd see here on the homepage where it just breaks it all down, breaks the numbers down, uses that machine learning, provides you a percentage where you just look at it and say, okay, you know what, 70% chance today of getting pregnant.
For couples that are having challenges, I think this is something that it's a new tool for them, right?
Yeah. And it really provides that information that they maybe haven't had before.
Is this available on the market now?
It will be available in Q2 2018.
In Q2, do we know what the pricing of this is going to be?
So we're going to be pricing it. We haven't finalized it, but it will be under $200, and
Under
we're trying to get
$200.
that as low as possible for consumers.
Do you think this is it going to be on a monthly subscription or just flat rate and you get it and you're done?
It'll be flat rate.
Flat rate. So do you guys have anything else that you're coming out in this space? Is this the first product you've got, or is it in this?
Sure. Yes. So the beauty of this device, right? It's a hormone analyzer.
Sure.
Amino analyzer. So it's not restricted to just fertility hormones, right? So we're fully expandable in terms of the markets that we can go into. We can go into allergen testing, influenza, flu testing, thyroid testing. The possibilities are really endless with this. So it's something that we're looking at. We will be exploring the market soon.
So then basically maybe you buy a different stick or you have different firmware for it.
Exactly. So those are updates that could easily be pushed to this, and there will be different test strips for different types of testing.
Outstanding. Ladies, fellas, couples, this is pretty cool. So Q2, if you're planning now, some of you don't plan. If you're planning, this might be a great tool for you to use to check your cycle and find out when that best time for fertility is.
Yeah.
Yazan, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thank you.
Very cool. What's the website?
The website's miracare.com.
Miracare.com.
And you can follow us at Mira Fertility on Twitter as well. So,
all right, outstanding. Thank you for being on the Tech Podcast Network today in Geek News Central.
Thank you so much.
All right, outstanding. Hey, I'm going to tell you, this technology, as far as health tech goes, it's just off the chart. It's going places that I don't think many of us would ever imagine it to, but it's exciting. It really, really, really is. So anyway, very cool. Now I think our guests are starting to filter in, so that's good. And the team is cycling them in. But did you guys get the Twitter alert that they were going to be on the show? Actually, I think the Twitter alert for their interview going out about now. Yeah, bring them on in. So, is this So, do we have a sheet for them? Hey, F5 is here. How you guys doing? You got a stick for it? We have some some media. Give that to Kirk and he'll unload it. Hey, how are you? So go ahead. There's Nancy. Hi. There's Mom. How are you? Hey, Lance, do you want to sit down for a minute and talk? So Kirk, dump that into the folder we were talking about. Yep. All right. And we will attempt to try to play some of that. So the guy from Mira left me a pen. That's cool. Yeah.
Hey, what's going on, Todd?
Hey, how are you?
Not bad.
Bring it up on. Yeah, so.
There we go.
Oh, man, you missed chaos here yesterday.
Oh, boy.
Everyone, this is Alante. He's a part of the F5 team.
Yeah, we're the floor crew.
Yeah, and I'll be a floor crew in 2 hours and 15 minutes, too.
I'm replacing you for that time.
Oh, you're going to come up? You're going to be live?
Yeah, so y'all will see my beautiful face again.
All right. Well, actually, you're replacing Don, I think. Are you on? You're on at what time?
2 or 2:30.
Yeah,
One
2
of
or
the two.
2:30. Okay, yeah, awesome. So you guys you went to CES Unveiled.
Yep.
And you went to
What
was it Digital Experience last
yes.
night?
Yes.
So tell me, what did you see that was like, oh my God, I gotta have?
So this is actually a little.
You're still
random.
not. There you go.
There we go. Sorry. So this is a little random, actually. One of the very small, more intimate meetings that we had
Sure.
was with what were they called? It was Mobile Help. That's what it was called. They're a company that's partnered with Samsung right now with their Galaxy S3 watches,
Sure.
or the Gear S3 watches, and basically it's if you have the Gear S3 watch on, you also have a way to get yourself out of trouble if you get into an emergency.
No, that's interesting.
And
So
all there is there's a button, an emergency button on the watch.
Right.
You press it and hold it, and it'll send out a signal saying, "Hey, this person's in trouble."
it's kind of like the SOS on the iPhone. Then,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Except for
Or
the
iWatch. Excuse me.
the SOS on the iWatch. The difference between the two
Yeah.
is that one contacts an emergency contact
Right.
first, whereas this one is going to go directly to 911.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they will call the watch back.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's really something. So I was like,
So, and of course, then if it does the GPS data get passed then?
Yep, it sends a packet off to them.
Oh,
a
that's
data packet off to them.
awesome. So a woman can just hold that button.
Yep.
What is the initiation time? Did they
20 seconds.
20? So she has to be able to hold it or anyone, a kid or anyone has, or if it's an adult that's got in a car wreck or
Yeah.
whatever,
Yep.
has to hold it for 20 seconds.
Oh, you know what? No, 20 seconds was the response time. They only have to
Oh.
hold it for about maybe a second or two.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's cool. So you can just get in and hit it and it'll go.
Yep, you'll see it. It'll go boop, and then send out it collects all that data, your location and all that, sends it out, and then they'll call you back.
Oh, that's cool. That's
It's-
really cool.
It's very sweet. Because I wasn't really sure what we were there for at first, and then when they explained that, I'm like, everybody needs it.
Right.
That's
So that one's tied to the. So is it part of the Android Watch? Is it an app for Android Watch, or how does it?
it is built into it.
Oh, into their particular watch.
Yeah. So the way they pretty much explained it is the reason why that partnership happened is because Samsung actually approached them.
That's cool.
And so their future is, if more manufacturers come to them, and say that they want that, then they'll
Right.
have them built into future watches. I'm like, I would buy it.
Yeah. Anything else? What was like the crowd at CS Unveiled? Was it typically 10 deep in booths, or?
It was pretty deep.
Yeah, I was telling the audience earlier, that's one of the reasons why I don't go to CS Unveiled anymore. It's just because you wait 20 minutes for an interview, and then people are pushing through, and it's just and the space is too small, and
It was a lot of chaos, but we did get to see
to get some good stuff.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the Samsung show.
Yeah.
Because they showed off all of their ecosystem stuff.
Right,
So
right.
all
And
of
that
our-
was yesterday during their press event day.
Yep, the
Okay.
press event day. That was awesome. I really enjoyed that show.
All right. Hey, so I know you're going to be up here later, but I'll just give you a quick rundown on how the studio works. We're
Yes.
doing a little OJT here, folks. So you got 2 camera shots.
All right.
And you can actually go to whatever is on his computer as well.
Okay.
But we may end up adjusting that.
Okay.
But in order to bring up your lower third, and we'll put it up there later, is you just do that.
Okay.
But then the person that's running that computer over there, you switch here, and you can bring up the other person's lower third.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
So we've had the stream go down once, so we had to reinitiate it once, but so far so good. Everything's been up and running.
Smooth today, not like the...
Oh, internet went out 50 minutes before we went live.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, and that went in stream yesterday.
Oh,
yeah,
beautiful.
But I sat down here 5 minutes before the show started. I was like, "Are we ready to go? Are we ready?" It's just like nothing can be smooth.
Yeah.
It's
not a tech show if there aren't.
It makes my hair go gray. But anyway, looks like our next guest here is Alante. So everyone you'll see him at 2 p.m. Pacific. He'll be back here for 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Yep, sounds good.
All right, we'll see you back.
Sir.
Yep. All right. Oh, the company that was late for the 10:15 is actually here. Awesome. All right. Get him in. All right. Good morning.
Good morning.
And your name is Oliver. Okay, easy. Olivier.
Yeah, it's like the French word.
Oh, fantastic. It's nice. So, did you get wet this morning? It's chaos out there, yeah?
Yeah, well, fortunately I was in a car. I didn't have to walk.
Yeah. Hey, can you help me on this shot? He's so tall.
Do you want me to, like...
No, you're good. Back it up a little bit if we can. Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I'm making you scrunch a little bit.
That's fine.
You're what, you're probably 6 feet, aren't you?
Just under.
All right, so Olivier, you're with, is it RSNs?
RSNs.
RSN. So tell me about your guys' product and what you're doing here at CES.
Yeah, so RSNs is an experience where you don't just listen to music, you feel it with
Okay.
your whole body. And our first product is a lounger, which is a long chair. You lie down on the lounger and you listen to music through headphones.
Right.
And then there's 30 little vibrators, speakers kind of things on the chair that diffuse vibrations
that's
all over
cool.
your body. And what's important to understand is that it's not automatic. You can just plug any kind of music. We actually create all those vibrations to go with the song.
Okay.
So we can make waves that go up and down, little tingles, little taps on your hands, on your fingers, and they all accompany, like they're all in symbiosis with the music you listen to.
So I assume then you probably have a full variety of music. You probably have music to relax from,
Absolutely.
to jam out on.
That's right.
So how many different genres of kind? Do you have classical?
Yep.
Wow.
All kinds of genres. There's no restriction. It's more like music that makes you want to travel, that makes you want to, go somewhere. But it can be club music.
Right.
It can be Pink Floyd. It can be ambient. It can be like sounds, just like sounds, no music, like water falling.
Yeah.
Or like, didgeridoo, or like Tibetan bowls, that sort of stuff.
So with these sensors and it's basically the sound pulsing through your body, that's essentially what's going on, yeah?
Right.
It probably rejuvenates you a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah. There's an effect. Like people say that they're not the same when they come out of the experience. They feel
Really?
like the first thing is that you completely disconnect. Usually you don't think about anything else, so you're fully concentrated on the music.
Yeah.
We usually give little eye masks to people so they don't block the sides, so it helps you completely escape. And then you've got all these pulses on your body which have like an effect of soothing and really rejuvenate you.
So here's a question for you, and this may sound a little odd, but have you tried this with any hearing impaired folks that are sitting on?
Yeah, I have actually.
And how's their experience been?
Yeah, they love it because they're not listening to, they cannot hear, but they can feel still. The sense of touch is there.
Yeah.
And while those people actually love to go to clubs to feel the music with their body.
Yeah.
So it's that sensation, but we have a much finer range. We can really target, the thighs or the hands and play all these patterns on your body, and they loved it.
So is this product designed for home, or is it designed for a club scene, or where's the product sweet spot?
Right. Well, basically, there's going to be stages. So the first stage is more like a high-end lounger design aimed at the loungers.
Okay.
So like airline lounges, hotel lounges, VIP lounges, also like companies who want to,
Have like a
relax
room,
there. Yeah, exactly.
relax area. Okay.
Relaxing area. And then we're also doing events with this, so we can rent the chair and do specific content for brands who
Okay.
want to, have, give an extra different experience to
Yep.
their customers. But then we want to come out with a more like a broader product that's more affordable. 2019, so hopefully going to homes. At the moment today on CES we are with Valeo with a VR experience. So instead of having an eye mask, there's like a VR mask,
Right.
and you'll watch a movie fully immersed, and you also have all these sensations that go with the movie.
Oh, that's cool. So, what is the current now? Just so everybody remembers, this is high end right now. So, what is the price run for the chair?
Yeah,
Or
so
for the lounger.
yeah, today you can rent it for roughly 2,000 euro a day. You can rent it monthly for about 1,000 euro, and you can buy it for 20,000 euro.
For 20,000 euros.
Yep.
All right, awesome. So again, this is not something, now, if you're an audiophile, maybe you want one of these in your home. Where's the, okay, so the website for you that are interested is Aurasens, AURASENS.com, AURASENS.com. So definitely check it out. Thanks for coming over, and thanks. I know you had to fight the weather and traffic
Yeah.
and everything else.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, absolutely.
See you around if you want to come and check it out in our booth. We would be very, very pleased to give you a demo.
All right. Thank you for coming on the show.
Cheers.
All right, take it. Thank you. Yep. So there you go. Here at CES, it runs the gamut. You're going to have product lines that are $39.95 for consumers, and then you're going to have products that are $20,000 for corporate entities. Now, you notice he didn't bring a lounger to us to try. I don't know if it would fit in the room anyway. So anyway, that is the wow. So we got the one that missed, that we got caught up. Any I haven't been watching the chat room, Kirk. Anything in the chat room? Any commentary there that? Oh yeah, push that mic up close. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, they're gonna be here soon. All right. All right. Yeah, we'll run them in and run them out. So we had our Twitter storm, basic, not our Twitter, but our Twitter feed set up for people to announcements when people are going to be here on time, and it never works out that way and we just don't have enough hands to push that tweet the moment that they sit down in the chair. It's just too much for the team to be able to do that. So, but I'm glad we're starting to cook here. It's starting to have a little turn in the studio. That's nice, and I'm getting used to our setup. And PR people keep calling me, so numbers I've never seen before all of a sudden are calling and want to talk. That's pretty typical. So let me bring up the chat and see here what else we have going on. All right, nothing there. All right, so we're actually on the second version of the let's think about Facebook. When the stream goes down on Facebook, there's no way to bring it back up. It starts a whole new stream. So, but that's okay. That's the way things work here. All right. Did that video get loaded? So I probably shouldn't. Let me try loading one. And let me see. This is a little dangerous. So hopefully I don't. Okay, let me look there. Nope. Which folder did you put it in? Is it in the live text folder? Oh, okay. I got to go on the network. Our next guest is here, so I'll try that afterwards. Hey, good morning.
How you doing?
Come on in, Frank. How are you? And yeah, we're a little tight here. I'm gonna have you put that on and make sure you get the mic right up close. There you go. All right. So good morning, Frank, and you're with Skylink Group.
Correct.
So tell me what you have here for us this morning.
What we're introducing this year at the CES is our Nova. Nova is all-in-one retrofit for a garage, for an existing garage door.
Okay.
So if you have an existing older, 10, 20 years, you want to make it into a smart garage opener that you can control from your phone and your apps.
I think my garage door's been in my house since I bought it. Yeah.
Probably about 20 years.
Yeah, 20
a lot
years.
Of those old clunkers still clicking away.
Yeah, matter of fact, I disconnected it because I think there was a security concern at one time for it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, because now all the remotes have rolling code technology
Yeah,
and all
yeah.
that stuff. So a lot of people that want to make this you'd like to know if your door is open or closed, and you'll be able to control it.
Yep.
Well, this will retrofit an existing door, an existing garage door opener.
Awesome.
So it works pretty well. Anything that's on the market that has an existing door push button doorbell switch.
Sure.
So anything like that. So all you do is just two wires plugged in from the back of this to the push button. You tap them in with your wall button that you control your door right now, and you plug it into the power, and that's it. Once you download the app, you have full control from your phone.
Okay.
To open, close, monitor. You get notification if your door is open, who opened it, and when they opened it.
My neighbor just the other night left their door open, and they forgot it was open all night, and they had a robbery.
Exactly. So that's well, even if you're away and somebody breaks into your garage door, or you forget accidentally leave it open,
right?
That's what happens. Also, not only does that, but there's a lot more to this than just similar other products on the market.
Yep.
This also expands into a full home automation and alarm system.
Wow.
So there's a hub in here that you can control, and you can add all sorts of window sensors, motion sensors, cameras, water detectors, lighting.
To this device? Really?
All to this device. This device controls all lighting switches, wall switches, plugs in, smart plugs.
So it's a whole base station.
A whole base station, yeah. It's a full hub.
Yeah.
So you can do alarm security and home automation with it.
I gotcha.
The other part also has a built-in bright LED light.
Yep.
So this is normally mounted on your ceiling in the garage.
Yep.
Next to your garage opener.
Sure.
There's usually a plug out there.
Yep.
So all you do is plug it into the outlet.
Yeah.
Run two wires from here to the garage.
Yep.
Tap it in, and you're done. You can, if we want to plug it in, we can. There's a very bright light.
Yeah, we probably. Yeah, here.
If we can plug it in if we need to, but you can remotely turn it on. This is your. You can also open your door from here.
Okay.
With the keychain remote.
Yep.
And finally, the other part that's really important and safe. It has a carbon monoxide smoke detector alarm detector. So it doesn't sense the carbon monoxide or smoke, but it senses your alarm.
Okay.
So if your smoke alarm goes off or your carbon monoxide alarm goes off, there's a sensible microphone in here that picks up that beeping.
Right.
That certain beep, 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 beep that they send. And at that time, it will open your door.
Really?
For additional ventilation.
Oh, that's smart.
So it's really a full smart home retrofit for existing garage. But not only for, if you don't use that garage part, it gets still control a whole bunch of other stuff.
It opens the door on CO2. Does it open the door on fire as well? Probably not, right? Because you don't want that to happen because
it's a smoke detector.
Smoke detector.
So if you have smoke or CO detection,
right.
It'll open the door for additional ventilation.
I gotcha.
So completely, you've got home automation, lighting, smart plugs, camera surveillance. You have security, window door sensors. You have water detection sensors.
Okay.
You have, and you control your door. The other thing on top of all that, it's fully compatible with Amazon Alexa.
Okay.
IFTTT.
Yep.
And Google Home.
Awesome.
So you can control from your, say, Alexa, open my garage, close my garage door.
Yep.
Alexa, do whatever you need to do.
What is the retail on this?
Retail price will be launching at under $100.
Under $100. Yeah. And when's the availability going to be?
Be available spring 2018.
In spring of 18. Yeah. And they can, I assume, SkylinkHome.com is the place.
Our website, yep.
All right, very cool.
We'll be available, of course, through all sorts of retailers and.
So the the alarm addition to this will be obviously an upcharge on that, on a monthly fee.
This is a self-monitor, do-it-yourself self-monitoring.
Right.
We will provide monitoring services.
Okay.
$10, $15 a month.
Yep.
That's your choice. But you can primarily people do it on a self-monitor. You get instant notification
Over your cell phone.
Over your cell phone of window sensors, door, any motion sensor, time, and who armed and disarmed the system.
Right.
And location of the window sensor. Plus, you get a status, as you see here on your on the little app of the. I don't know if you can see it on the phone. The red means motion sensor is activated.
Okay,
and
yeah.
The red door means it's open. The others are blue, which are closed.
Awesome.
So you can see it.
Well, I tell you what, it's almost the point now where you almost don't need an alarm company, because the cameras in the home, the sensors in the home.
You have everything.
You have everything. Now, because if you can, like here on CES, and if I had alert go off, I might not be able to respond immediately, but generally you'll be able to see something's going on. And
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even when you do have monitoring system, and monitoring system is a peace of mind, but when you do have a monitoring system, the company generally calls you.
That's right.
And it asks you, what do you want to do?
That's right. They
So
always call me, say, what's your password? I have to
Right.
give them the
So
password. Yeah.
You eliminate that delay of them getting the call,
Yeah.
dialing and calling. You already got that notification on your phone that the intrusion has happened or
Yep.
something has happened there.
Yeah, in Hawaii, if you have more than 2 false alarms, it costs you money.
Exactly. The app is available on iOS and Android.
Okay.
Of course, multiple users can use the app, up to 6 users.
All right.
The devices you can add up to 100 sensors.
Okay.
And so
That's amazing.
Lots of doors and windows and lighting. Up to 6 users can use up to 6 cameras as well. 10 cameras, and 6 users can have the app. And the sensors on that are available again currently through that we carry through Skylink Home
Outstanding.
as well.
Skylink.home.com, folks. That's the place to go. Frank, thanks for being
Thank
here.
you very much. Thank
Yeah,
you for
thank
being
you, and appreciate it, and have a good show.
We certainly will.
All
Thank
right,
you.
appreciate it. All right, awesome stuff. So what we're going to do, I think, is we've had a run of really tall guys. I think we're going to try to pull the cameras back a little bit. We did some testing in here. You can go ahead and get up. Yep. Thanks so much, Frank.
Okay, I'll leave you some.
Absolutely. Appreciate it. Yep. Yeah, and if he's got it, I'm good. Hey, thank you, Frank. Thank you. So, hey guys, one of these cameras, we definitely got to pull one of these bad boys back no matter what, because his head was... Yeah, so we're going to have to pull that camera back no matter what, and just move it over to the side, move it that way. Yeah, because he was completely getting cut off, and even if we have to, yeah, so bring it. I don't know if that's going to help. Yeah, it's better. But what you're going to want to do now, okay, stop. Go ahead and let Colton make the adjustment on it. So if you want, move it that way. Actually, no, just, yeah, okay. What we need to do is we need to get some tacks for the sign, all right. Yeah, that's about it right there. I'm looking at the other feed. Yeah, that's not bad. Oh. Yeah, I think right there is that's about as best as it's going to get, isn't it? So making adjustments here, you just never know. We put tall guys in the chair, but he was like super tall. All right, there you go. Yeah, that's as good as it's going to get from a. And I think then just on a rotation standpoint, yeah, just do loosen the rotation knob. No, not that one. Yeah. Okay. There you go. That's better. All right. We'll see how that works. I hate to have these guys come in and do a nice interview, then to have half their head chopped off.
So I can pay more attention to it.
Yeah, if we see these taller guys come in, and so just a little secret for those of you that are watching. So what we have got is Todd didn't pack any thumbtacks, and right up here is black gaffer tape. You can't see it, but it looks horrible. So we couldn't go too high, and we basically are just going to we'll have to adjust stuff later. We thought we were okay, but oh yeah, it's okay. It's just you can just see a slice of it. It's fine. Oh man. So those of you that are watching, how is the so the it's buffering quite a bit. Thanks, Scott. I appreciate it. Yeah, these folks have to. We try to get them. See, what happens is these mics, any mic, people that don't do any online stuff at all, they get mic adverse, and it weirds them out a little bit to have a mic right up on them. It's just natural. People aren't really used to it too much, so there's not a lot really I can do when it comes to that. From having, basically people moving stuff off of center, it's hard to get them to actually do that. So, anyway, all right. Well, we're a little ahead of schedule as far as people showing up. People have been showing up 15 minutes early, and because we had a bunch of people miss their appointments earlier today, then that's what's kind of got the schedule kind of out of whack. A typical first day of CES here, and we've got people scheduled on one new guest every 15 minutes, and some of the interviews don't take 15 minutes, obviously. But I was going to look and see who is actually supposed to be up next. So Skylink was here. So Power Sphere did not show yet. So maybe they'll be maybe they're running late. Maybe we'll get those folks in. All right, let me go ahead and try to add these videos now. Let's going to do that. And we're just going here on the fly, folks, and largely because on today's show we have we just got our first set of content. Oh, lovely! I don't see. Isn't that great? Okay, there's the TriCaster. We're waiting for stuff to show up on the network. We had all the network configured, had our security protocols in place, and 40 minutes before the show started, we lost. They had to change the internet here, and it caused us to do all kinds of minutia. So I do not actually see the computer that has. We're batting 1,000 today. This is just lovely. Oh, lovely, 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 lovely. So let me see if I can get him to copy some stuff in. Well, let me try to get that in work. I'll be back with you guys in just a few minutes, and we'll see if we can get you some content up here. All right. Let me do this DDR. Oops. So I can't actually see that computer up there. To make this network. All right, now I can see the computer. Oh, there we go. All right. All right, now this is a moment of truth here. Oh, it's a big one. All right, well, I can try to pull this in. And we'll see how that works. All right, I guess our next guest is here. That'll help. Yeah, kind of some dead air. Sorry about that, folks. We're trying to get some content into the system for you to be able to watch. During the time we don't have folks actually in the studio. If he's is Colton is he ready? Oh wait, on the person, okay. I don't know if this will play. Let's see if this will actually play. Let's try it. Oh, it's a 6-minute interview though. What is their scheduled time? All right, let me try this. Let's see if this works.
Our CES 2018 coverage is proudly powered by Amazon. Help support our content by going to plughitslive.com/Amazon. Hey guys, Scott here with Plug Hits Live, part of the Tech Podcast Network. I am here at NeoFect, and we've got some interesting recovery stuff behind us. Go ahead and introduce yourself for me.
Yeah, my name is Scott Kim, and I'm the CEO of NeoFect USA, the US operations of the NeoFect.
Okay. And behind us, we've got like a board with an armrest and what looks like almost a falconer's glove. What is it that we're looking at?
So these are all therapeutic devices, mainly for the neurological condition patients' rehabilitation. Okay. So for example, the smart board, that's for the stroke patients, like shoulder movement rehabilitation. Okay. So it's all about neuroplasticity. So by working on repetitive motion over and over, so your brain actually gets through the process of relearning something which you used to know but not anymore due to accident or stroke or anything.
Okay, so I noticed when I was watching, somebody was playing what looked like a game that was on a beach, and it actually kind of looked like Animal Crossing. There were seashells and stuff, and it looked like they were picking them up. Is that's like to get fine motor control and stuff?
Yes, yeah. You must be actually checking out the treasure hunt, like finding the treasure out of the sand by the ocean. So like that game is specifically for the hand motion, for like this motion. So basically like you can think of the wiping the floor motion. Okay. And like by working on repetitive action, like using the game, you can actually like get better like with more engaging tools as well as the tracking capability. Because every time the game ends, it actually tells you how much progression you've been making. Okay. Also, it tells you like what kind of range of motion you're having right now.
Okay, so it learns from you and watches your behaviors and sees how if you're getting better at the motions.
Yeah, definitely. It's a lot better than like you've been told that like, oh yeah, you look better for like past couple of years, but it actually tells you like you've been actually gaining the range of motion by X degrees over past 3 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's really nice to see numbers, not just you're doing better.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Fair enough. And then the glove, what is that for?
So glove is the basically a real-time biofeedback device, mainly for the stroke patients.
Okay.
So by wearing the glove, you can actually play the games, but at the same time, you're going through the rehab process. So you can virtually pour the wine, or catch the baseball, or play ping pong. So these are all the these are all related to the daily activities.
Okay.
And like by virtually like being part of it, you can actually relearn like what it is like, what it feels like, but at the same time, most importantly, by working on repetitive action, that you get better over time.
Okay, so it's not like a semi-robotic thing. It's something that's watching your behavior and allowing you to do what would normally be a normal everyday activity semi-virtually.
Exactly.
Okay.
So for example, we have games called the Squeezy Orange. So you can actually like virtually squeeze the orange and then 50 times a day, as many times as you want actually. But without this type of tool, you actually have to rely on things like a rubber ball. It's you have to like squeeze it like 200 times, and it's not the most exciting activity, but at the same time, most importantly, it's hard to keep track of your progress. And yeah, it's such a tedious work like to remember like how many times did I squeeze this ball today versus yesterday.
So this has kind of that same almost gamification where it's keeping track of your progress and showing you if you're doing better or worse than the last time.
Absolutely,
Awesome.
yeah.
Okay, and so what phase of development are these things in? Are they prototype? Are they on the market? Where are we on these?
So smart board, smart glove, and smart pegboard are already on the market.
Okay.
And especially smart glove has been on the market since 2014.
Okay.
And the one product, it's called the Neo Mano, and it is going to be a market like sometime this year. Yeah.
And so since there is obviously it's a medical application, if somebody wanted one of these, do they have to interact with a doctor to get one, or can they just order one?
Oh, they can just order one.
Okay.
Like they can just visit our website, like rapaelhome.com, RAPAEL home.com, and to order the smart glove or smart board or smart pegboard. And the assistive device Neo Mano, like it's currently under development. Yeah.
And what kind of price range are we looking at on these?
Under $1,000, but we're still working on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me today.
Thank you.
For continuing CES 2018 coverage, stay tuned to plughitslive.com/CES.
Okay, folks, we're back, and that was an interview with Scott Ertz and the F5 Live guys. So awesome job on that. It gives us a little bit of stuff to actually play during the show. That's the kind of what we like to be able to have here to be able to show you guys. And let me actually do that. There we go. I'm going to try to pull some more in so that as we have guests that show up and or don't show up and are available, we can pull them in. So I'll take a little bit for those to get added into the system. Yeah, there we go. So we got another one, but our next guest said they were just a few minutes out, so they should be here directly. But as I wrap up at noon and Don Bain takes over, he's got a full bevy of guests that are going to be here. And we hope that everyone's on time like they weren't in the morning. Seems like I'm always the guinea pig willing to take the first shot on Tuesday morning when we're a little content thin. But that's just kind of how it goes. But the traffic is as expected, this home automation area of the Tech West at Sands is pretty packed. I'm looking outside our broadcast area here, and it's really slammed. They're very, very busy out there. Traffic is 5, 6, 7 people deep, and as people walk by here, they're looking in the studio to see what's going on. If we close the door to the studio, it gets like 100 degrees in here real quick. We're just essentially in a box. So that's kind of how it ties in here. I could have probably played that second clip. Let me go ahead and bring that up, and that way you guys have we'll make the guest wait a minute. Isn't that nice of me? So let me cue this up. This one is about 5 minutes. Here we go.
Our CES 2018 coverage is proudly powered by Amazon. Help support our content by going to plughitslive.com/Amazon. Hey guys, Scott here with Plug Hits Live, part of the Tech Podcast Network. I'm here at CES 2018 at the Netatmo booth. Go ahead and introduce yourself for me.
So I'm Helen Duvall. I'm a product marketing manager at Netatmo.
Okay. And I see a whole big line of products behind us. What have we got going on here?
So actually, Netatmo is involved in different areas of the smart home. We have security cameras, thermostats, weather stations, all sorts of things in the smart home.
Now the thing that's really intriguing is right behind us we have a TV with Facebook Messenger on it, which seems bizarre at an IoT company. So what are we looking at there?
So that's something that we're unveiling today. It's called the Netatmo Smart Home Bot. It's a chatbot which enables you to control all your Netatmo products directly through Facebook Messenger. So you can ask the bot to turn on the cameras as you leave your home, to switch on the lights, to set the heating to 24 degrees Celsius, all sorts of things depending on the products that you have.
And so the bot works across the platform. It doesn't care which of your products, it'll do all of it?
Yeah, it will do all of it, depending on the products that you have.
And is there like a really strict conversational language, or is it more natural?
No, it can be natural. I mean, just express yourself, ask it the things that you wanted to do. And
so like turn on the lights in the living room?
Exactly. Or switch on the cameras.
Okay.
Or set the heating to 24 degrees. Or
show me the live feed.
Show me the live feed. Show me who's at home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so let's go with show me the live feed. And let's say you've got 3 or 4 cameras. Is it going to show you all the cameras, or is it going to ask you which one you want to show?
Exactly. It's going to ask you which camera you would like to see.
Okay. And so I imagine they've all got names in the system, and it'll probably show you the names?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and then you just have to select one of the homes that you have, one of the cameras that you have, and it will show you the live stream of that specific camera.
And so does it show the live stream in the Messenger app, or does it give you a link to show it and show you the current shot?
Directly in Facebook Messenger, in that conversation that you're having.
I wouldn't even know how to do that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's super simple. You just have to look up for the chatbots through Facebook Messenger, click on Netatmo Smart Home Bot, get started, and you're ready to converse with your chatbots.
A pretty easy name to remember if you know the product.
It is.
So, is this available today? Is it coming soon?
It's available since today, only in English for the moment, but other languages will follow.
And is it part of the service, or is it an extra fee, or how does it work?
No extra fee. It's free of charge. That's it.
So I would imagine that obviously you have to have some way of telling it who you are. Is that done in Messenger, or is it done in the app?
Yeah, in Messenger. You just have to sign into your Netatmo account from the chatbots, from the conversation you're having with the bots, and it connects to your Netatmo products, and then you can start giving orders to your bots.
I love that sentence. You can start giving orders to your do this for me robot.
That's the idea, yeah. So it complements voice assistants actually, because you won't necessarily use Siri when you're at work or when you're in a public area. You would rather just text it, and that's how we designed the bot to complement voice assistants.
And that also means that, say, the voice assistant that uses Cortana, which I don't think you guys support, somebody with, say, on a Windows computer could still control their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And it's only available in English, but is it available to people who are not in the U.S.?
Absolutely. It's available worldwide, only in English, as I said, but other languages will follow.
So if you're in Italy but speak English, you can still use it?
Yes.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me today.
Thanks for your time.
For continuing CES 2018 coverage, stay tuned to plughitslive.com/CES.
Hey folks, we're back here at CES 2018. My name is Todd Cochran with Geek News Central, geeknewscentral.com, and we have Michael with us from KULR Technology.
Cooler Technology.
Cooler Technology.
Who's cooler than cooler, right?
Yeah, cooler than cooler. And we actually need a cooler in this room here.
There you go.
Hey, welcome to the show, and I know it's rainy out there and everyone's fighting the first day CES craziness, but what are you guys introducing at the show? What do you guys got?
Well, great. Thank you for having me.
Sorry. Let me pull this up to you. Okay, there we go.
Okay, thank you. So thank you for having us.
Sure.
Thank you very much. Cooler Technology, we use carbon fiber is thermal management to cool chips, batteries, and all things electronics.
Okay.
So obviously you see a lot of cool gadgets in CES. We're targeting a number of applications. Actually, first of all, our technology has been 30 years in the making in the space applications. So is there a camera that I can point
Sure,
this to?
so probably that one there is the best
one.
one.
There you go, yes. So you can see here, it's a vertically aligned carbon fiber. This technology has been in the space applications for the last 25, 30 years. It's on the International Space Station.
Okay.
As part of the the heat sink for the NICER program.
Okay.
We've delivered heat sinks for the Mars rover program.
I won't put my finger in it.
There you
Can I
go.
look
No,
and
you
send-
can touch this. It's perfectly fine for you to touch. It feels like carbon fiber velvet.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
Thank you. We're on the Mercury Messenger, Venus Lander program.
Wow.
So from space programs, now we're CES. We're taking this technology to cool the next generation electronics and the next generation all these applications, such as AI, autonomous driving, 5G, smart city, and so forth. So let's say for the application of AI and deep learning and all these autonomous driving cars, these require really high power processors.
Right.
So what I have here is an NVIDIA GPU chip that has the chip on top and the substrate, and here's a heatsink. You put our carbon fiber thermal interface material here, and then you that attach the heatsink with the chip. Yeah.
Right. So everyone's familiar with heat sinks. Every computer has one.
Mm-hmm.
So what does this added value? Does it give you more heat dissipation? What's the...
That's absolutely right. So the carbon fiber is extremely good at thermal conductivity. So we give order of magnitude higher thermal conductivity than the traditional material.
Right.
So it gives you low contact pressure, very soft compliant material,
Okay.
and give you high thermal conductivity.
So it'll distribute the heat across the entire heat sink
more evenly, faster,
right,
and with lower delta T, which is technical term for lower the temperature of the chip.
Okay.
So in these high demand applications for deep learning, for autonomous driving, 5G, smart city, you're processing all these images all the time in a very fast speed.
Right.
You want to take advantage of the chip as much as possible,
I gotcha.
and therefore make it cool as cool as possible.
So you find this going into new technology and like the cars and so forth, but is it going to trickle down into devices like this, or?
Yes. We have customers testing them and going them into smartphones, the next generation smartphones. So as the processors become faster, the speed get faster.
Yep.
Everybody can relate to your iPhone or your Android phone get hotter and hotter.
Really,
So
really, the only time I find it gets really hot is when I'm charging it. Oftentimes, it feels warmer. So, is that going to help with some of this heat dissipation on batteries?
Absolutely, absolutely. We work with NASA to solve the thermal runaway propagation problem
That's huge.
for batteries.
Yeah.
So so we work with NASA for the last 3 years to solve the problem for lithium-ion battery thermal runaway propagation.
Right.
So we limit the catastrophic event of that battery, right? And also very important in the phone, we have customer testing it to how to efficiently take the heat away from the battery to the outside world to reduce the heat that's trapped inside.
So let me tell you, folks, thermal runaway in any type of battery situation is a bad thing.
Thank you. No, it's a bad thing. That's why we're here to solve that problem.
Right.
To keep our mission is to keep the electronics cooler, lighter, and safer.
So it truly is cooler.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, so for the show specifically, then, are you seeking new vendors to work with your material or with your product? What is the goal of the end goal for the show this year?
Sure. This show, a lot of our customers are here for the show, so it's a great place to meet with customers, partners, all in one spot. Although it's crazy, but it's 3-4 days.
Yep.
You meet, a couple dozen, few dozen people at the same time, so which is great. And also to learn about what these customers are pushing for 2018 and 19.
And what their challenges are.
What the challenges are, new product roadmaps, what the challenges are. And then we go back and spend the rest of the year engaged with these customers and also developing new solutions, products to make their devices cooler. Yes.
Very, very cool.
Thank you.
Hey, so folks, you can check their product line out and what they do at Cooler Technologies, KULR Technology.com. You can go over there and check their website out. If you're here at CES and you're interested in them, they definitely are. They're offsite at the Bellagio, but I'm sure you guys be willing to talk to anyone that's interested in your technology.
Absolutely.
All right, Michael, thank you so much for making the trek over here to Sands, and have a great show. We thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you very much, Todd.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So there you go. You just it runs the gambit here at CES on exactly what what companies are doing. Some folks are here to move product. Like I've told you before, we've went to a section where they've got nothing but cell phone covers, and then you have the opposite end of the spectrum here where the technology that they have is out of this world. They've got their technology on spacecraft, working with NASA and the International Space Station. It's very, very exciting. Isn't that cool? Wouldn't that be a cool thing if you were a company and you could say, hey, I got my products on the International Space Station. That's on the Mercury project, because your product is actually really heading out there. Really, really awesome. So, all right. Have we got our next guest on tap, or? Okay. It's kind of like Grand Central Station in here right now, for sure. All right. Thanks. Did and what we do is a little trick of the trade is we haul in. It's a pain. We haul in a bunch of water. But when guests come, we have water for them. We don't have a very big green room. We used to have a huge green room. And so now we do what we can for the folks that come visit us, and so that they've made their trek worthwhile and can have a little refreshment on the way about, aka the small bottles of water. All right, I've got another video for you here from the folks from F5 Live, and let me see if I can hit the right button for you. Let me get that cued, and I bring this down. Let me take this down. All right, let's see if I can auto. All right, here we go.
Our CES 2018 coverage is proudly powered by Amazon. Help support our content by going to plughitslive.com/Amazon. Hey guys, Scott here with Plug Hits Live, part of the Tech Podcast Network. I'm here at Omron. Go ahead and introduce yourself for me.
I'm Jeff Ray. I've been with Omron for about 10 years, and I'm the Executive Director of Business and Technology.
Very nice. And behind me, I see we seem to have a blood pressure cuff. What have we got going on here?
So we actually have two new products that are first to the blood pressure world. The first one is where we've taken a traditional blood pressure monitor and we've incorporated an ECG into it.
Okay.
So people that may be suffering from AFib or other arrhythmias can now take an ECG and have a conversation with their doctor if they're detecting that they get an abnormal rhythm while they're at home.
Very cool. So it's a standard cuff, but it's got a really kind of niche specialty to it.
Yeah, so what we've done is that people are now using something that they're familiar with and now bringing in something that they're less familiar with so that we can try and do it and get a more complete picture of their heart health.
So how does it work? Do you put the cuff on and it takes both readings, or is it a two-part process? How does that work?
It's however you want to do it. You can either put the cuff on and just take your blood pressure. You can just take an ECG. We're recommending that you do both because we're trying to find out what those trends are for people that may have AFib and high blood pressure.
So the ECG runs through the cuff as well as, or is it separate?
There's actually electrodes on the side of it, so you just put your fingers on the electrodes and it communicates directly with a mobile application on your smartphone to send that signal that you can then email to your doctor if you wanted to.
Very cool. Very cool. I like that. And then I see we have what looks like a smartwatch, which seems like a bit of a departure from the blood pressure cuff. What is that about?
Well, it may look like a smartwatch, but we've actually borrowed from the design of smartwatch.
Okay.
The major difference here is that this is a medical device. And so what we wanted to do was make something that people wouldn't be afraid to put on their wrist and leave their house wearing. So if it looks just like a regular old smartwatch, no one's the wiser that it actually is a medical device where they can take their blood pressure. And taking your blood pressure is actually really simple. All I have to do is press the button. It's going to give me a 3-second countdown. It's going to ask me to put my hand over my heart very indiscreetly, and I can take my blood pressure. And so then I would show you that I just took a reading and my blood pressure was 119/91.
Okay.
We've color coded it so people know what the meaning of their blood pressure is. So 119 is green, so that's good. 91's a little bit high, so it's red, but I'm hoping that's because I'm talking to you.
Sure.
But it does a little bit more than blood pressure. It is also an activity tracker, a sleep monitor, and does notifications just like a smartwatch would, but it is not a smartwatch, it is a medical device.
Now, we've seen some other devices that do blood pressure, but this is a medical device. You said it. This must work differently.
Yes. So this actually uses the exact same technology that's already cleared by the FDA, and it's the same technology that's used in the doctor's office. There's actually a cuff inside here that inflates with air to take your blood pressure. That is the only way that you can take your blood pressure that's cleared by the FDA. There's a lot of people that say estimated blood pressure, but that's not accurate enough to get through the FDA, and that's more why they say it's estimated.
Okay. So this has the same inflator that you would see in the other cuff, just tiny and in the watch.
Absolutely. We've just miniaturized it all the way down into something that looks like a smartwatch, and we actually had to put 2 of everything in here for safety reasons. So if in case it's inflating, you don't want to end up with a blue hand. So we put in twice the pumps and twice the valves, just in case one were to ever fail.
Okay. Well, that is really cool. It obviously, like you said, it's not a standard smartwatch. It's got some of the features of one, but it's definitely more of a niche product than, say, Fitbit.
Absolutely. But keep in mind, there are 100 million people in the United States that have hypertension that need to be owning some type of device. So we like to say this is a necessity, not a novelty.
Okay. Very cool. And obviously it makes it more convenient. Nobody wants to travel. Nobody wants to come to CES with a full rig like this. This makes the product
Well, that was a little weird. The video just stopped. So I think what was going on there was a quick edit, and they brought me over the video, and it definitely wasn't completely ready for prime time. That's for sure. That one wasn't. But anyway, so we're. Let me look at our schedule here and see what. We've had a couple of no-shows, and that's always happens on the first day. And I do have some time here towards the top of the hour to play this last piece. So, and hopefully Don Bain is in the next 15 minutes or so. Again, he's coming from the Cosmopolitan, and so he's got a trek to make it over here since 11 o'clock. So let me go ahead and play this last video from the F5 guys.
Our CES 2018 coverage is proudly powered by Amazon. Help support our content by going to plughitslive.com/Amazon.
What's up, Internet? This is Jacob Cannon with Plug Hits Live, part of the Tech Podcast Network. I'm here at UJIT with... Would you introduce yourself?
My name is Konstantin Notman. I'm CEO of UJIT Group.
What would you say we have here today?
First of all, this is two-wheeler from one side. From another side, this is a combination of the advanced technologies on the level of materials, high-level connectivity, and a really cool design. And our main focus is big cities, urban areas, and to create absolutely another level of freedom for city lovers. And we are very welcome to city lovers to share with them all our features and benefits. We have a lot of them.
Okay. What can you tell me about your scooter?
Okay, scooter. We are very distinctive in a lot of parts of the scooter. We can start from materials. And first of all, the result of these material studies and really deep R&D level, that our vehicle two-wheeler is much lighter. It's less than 50 kg. I don't know what it will be in pounds. Sorry, but in any way, it's much lighter than all other two-wheelers in this segment. Why? Because we have ultralight tires, we have ultralight rims, we have ultralight carbon fiber and magnesium military alloys frames. We worked a lot how to reduce weight in different sections. Also, we have a very top-class connectivity on board. GPS, GSM, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, low-energy Bluetooth, and so on. For example, as I told you before, that your smartphone is your personal key. A little bit later I will show how it works. But in addition to all of that, it's foldable device. We can fold it, unfold it. We can remove your battery. You can charge your battery at home. The battery range is enough, the battery charging level is enough for to make 90 miles. It's more than enough for city area. The charging time of the big battery, if we are using onboard charger, is really long. It's something like 6 hours. But if we are using external charger, fast-speed charger, you need only 1 hour to charge it for next 90 miles. And this is very useful from our point of view.
The wheels are very interesting. There's no spokes in the wheels.
Yes, we have not any spokes in the wheels, and we are calling it orbital wheels. And it's not only we have the motor inside the rim. The thickness of our motor is only 1 centimeter, and it's completely implemented to the rim. This is the part of the whole system, and you can see that we have very efficient brakes. It's classical disc brakes, hydraulic disc brakes. This is not so typical for this type of light scooters. This is a really safety device.
Okay, and how much does the scooter weigh with the large battery? How much does that weigh?
The maximum weight of our vehicle with the large battery is only 49 kg. Again, what about the pounds? I don't know exact number, sorry.
It's very intriguing. So you said there's smartphone connectivity. Is that where I connect to see how fast I'm going, how much battery I have left?
Yes,
or?
you have the history, you have the history of your charging and discharging of the battery cycles. And if you want, definitely I can show all of this to you. This is already on Apple Store, and it's already runs for Apple and for Android systems. These are all my vehicles. What I can lock, unlock, share with my friends and so on. We can choose anybody, everything of them. I can share with you this vehicle, just adding of your telephone number, nothing else. With the right to reshare it with somebody, to sell it, to change the owner. There are a lot of different other benefits. We have all technical information about this vehicle. You can see that next service in kilometers, battery cycle 0, because you can see only fresh out of facility vehicles. Or, for example, we can block our vehicle. This is one more level of anti-theft security system, just only disable. And this is very important sometimes. No, not this time. I can rename it, and I have onboard high density camera, and this is very interesting story because this is direct synchronization of the video from onboard system with your smartphone. You can create a lot of road stories and immediately send them to your Instagram, Facebook, and so on. This is not only, we created the special augmented reality features for our customers. For example, always I have this problem, and my wife has. I don't know where I leave my car, at front of some huge supermarket and so on. And I'm trying to find on this huge parking area, where is my car, in what slab. And we created augmented reality searching system for you can see this is geopositioning of our vehicle, and I added specially one vehicle in Luxembourg. This is really far away from here. I can show you this one. We can rotate it. Wait a second. Oops. We can see it calls Lady. It's in 8,901 kilometers directly on our facility in Luxembourg. But this is very easy way to use your smartphone camera and with help of augmented reality to locate your vehicle. But it's also not enough. Now, in our age of augmented and virtual reality, in media, in smartphones, everywhere, we created for our customers a very special augmented reality configurator where you can make your own choice, where you can fit your widget at front of your house, where you can fit your widget, for example, to a garage, to corner of your room. I don't know how to do it. You can see. This is the camera of your smartphone. Oops. This is the pairing of the widget. We can rotate it, do what we want. We can change design of, for example, to use different colors. We can fold it, unfold it, stop right, fold widget, for example. You can see it works. And it's not only, we can make the shot and to send this shot immediately to Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and so on. And anyway, this is a good connection with your wife before purchasing. Sometimes it's actual for me. Yes, but also, as I told you before, this is foldable device. And if you want, I can show you.
Would you please?
Yes. Come on. This is unfolding position, and we have the battery. Battery is a very simple idea, but we already patented it. To use trolley mode for simple battery, not to use it like a heavy luggage somewhere, but standard luggage, nothing special. You can pick up your battery at home and to charge it there, or in office, nothing special. Then this is widget in folding position, in trolley mode. You can move it. Definitely, it's not for daily usage. It will be too hard, too complicated to fold it and fold it 10 times per day. But if you are living home, you can fold it and store somewhere in the garage. This is very actual solution for hotels because you can store a lot of them. This is a very unique solution for boats and yachts. And we have a lot of requests from this area, from yacht industry and boat industry, because this is really self-drive vehicle with the big autonomous millage and so on. This is very useful because when you're coming to different marina, usually the transport, this is a big problem for you. But now about folding again. Look at this. We have the paddle here from this side. From this side, please stay here. Okay, this is the small pedal, just unblock the wheels. Then we're doing this movement. It blocks. When place the battery on top. It's done. Voila. And it's not necessary to make any additional movements like usual when you are folding and unfolding something. Remove the battery. Press one pedal. Move it back. Fix. Unfold handlebar. And let's go.
That's fantastic.
Very simple, but everything simple is very complicated to develop. To develop this principle of the folding and unfolding, we created something like 30 different prototypes.
Looks
what
like
else? On board, we have a lot of different type of communications and with non-stop connection with technical cloud. For what? The main purpose to create driving statistic, to understand better all technological and technical features, but not only. We are creating now the absolutely new level of safety system. What it means? For example, technical system will see some problems with the battery overheating, overcharging, or for example, overheating of the bottle. The first immediate response will be to create some limits of the battery power from the 100% to the level of 80%. If we cannot change it by distance, by air, we will invite personally with the sending of the message to the screen of the UJET invitation to visit our service. And this is absolutely a new system, and now we already created all this technical environmental to this. And this is the big long story of the development of new features in the nearest future.
very cool. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
For continuing coverage of CES 2018, follow us at plucketslive.com/CES.
All right, folks, we're back, and we're just about ready to change the guard out here. Don Bain has made the trek over from the Cosmopolitan. He's kind of sitting half on camera, half off right now. And we're going to do the swap out. And as predicted, Don's first guest is actually not going to be here either, so Don's going to be ad-libbing to you for a little bit. Or just go screen dark or whatever. But it's been my pleasure to bring some content to you this morning, even though it's been crazy. And it's just the way this show is the first day. What we're going to do now is my team will go out and we will fill the camera, fill the SD stick, so that as we move throughout the rest of the show, when we have gaps, When we have time, when there's we need to do fill, which happens a lot here, we'll have plenty to fill. So thanks for sticking with us for this first bit of this morning. I'll be back tomorrow, but Don Bain is with you for the next 2 hours, and then we have Alante is coming back from the F5 team. He'll be up to close us out for the day. But we'll see you. I'll see you guys tomorrow. But stream's staying up. Don't go anywhere. The Gadget Professor is up next. Mics are live, so again, we're hard punching because we're.
Okay, so what do you want me to do? I put the audio back on.
Audio's on now.
So we're going
So we're
live.
live. Yep. So 1, 2, and then so SK1 is. So you're up in DSK1 and 5 text K2. Put it in an ME. We didn't have time to get fancy. Everything.
Those are on and off, these buttons.
Those are just on and off.
Yeah.
Or you can take it here. But you have to select which one you want.
All right, so I just push one and I'm on, right?
Yeah, you push DSK1, you may have to do a take. But the take is tied to the DSK. Yeah, I'll try one for sure.
Just make sure I'm on before you leave.
What would you like?
That's good. And go into center. Open it up. Got the folder.
Give him a few seconds here to get us landing. If this phone rings, you guys probably won't get no calls because you scheduled all your own people. But for people there, this is the number for the booth. Come to Hawaii, you'll have to try malasada.
We got more here. Yeah, give me all those folders, please. Thank you. Yeah. Thanks, Ansel.
There's another folder here.
Yeah. Is there a pen in there somewhere? There's probably a pen on the desk. That's it. Have some more, Todd. Yeah, that's fine.
It's not. I told him.
Now, as you're walking around today, you want to carry one of these in your pocket. That's a beacon. It's a Bluetooth beacon. This announces Tech Podcast to all Android phones.
Get out of here.
Oh, yeah.
Get out of here.
Oh, when you hear what this does, you're going to be amazed. This is something I've been doing. It's incredible.
Hey, Todd.
You don't. You just carry it in your pocket like it's quarter.
Because it's 12 o'clock.
So you got to do punch one and you're good.
All right. Enza,
Yes, sir.
that's the schedule, who's coming. Actually, you take that one, I'll take this one. We're down here at 12 o'clock, first day.
Right.
So they canceled.
They cancel. I have a pen and I want to put down
Okay.
cancel. In my purse.
And someone else canceled here. Or couldn't find the booth.
Why did everyone?
I agree. Okay, Enza, do you know the location here? Can you just type it in for this guy? Just reply to the message. Just tell him what our location is.
400.
Sands Expo. Second floor. All right, I'm going to go live right now. Let's make sure everything's all right.
Gotta hard punch it. No, again, you have to hard punch it. When we got it set up, you gotta hard punch it.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. Okay. Hello, everyone. It's Don Bain, the Gadget Professor. Welcome to the live broadcast. We are at the Tech Podcast Network, and I myself just came back, or just ran over from the Cosmopolitan. It is absolutely pouring rain here, and actually the roof on this building, which is relatively new, had a monster leak, and it's pretty messy. The booths flooded, at least a lot of them did, and Todd's going to go over there now with his crew and actually pick that up. So I'm going to put you, let's see here, we have Mike, hold on here, we're taking a call in live. Hello, you're on the air. What's up? No, Mike, we have everything, all we need is a solo, and we're live on the air right now, so thanks for calling in. Okay, Mike, that was Wild Man Mike. He's stuck in traffic. It's really pandemonium here. In any event, welcome everyone. My name is Don Bain, the Gadget Professor, and as I said, we're coming at you live from CES 2018. We're actually in the Sands Expo this year, and it's quite interesting. For one, it's a little bit easier to get around in terms of interviewing booths and things like that, only because it's slightly smaller. Actually, it's a lot smaller than the main convention hall. Todd, what's up?
I almost here early, so you can take them, yeah?
Okay. All right. Well, it appears that our first guest is here a tad early, and we're ready for them. Why don't you come on down, and we're all ready for you. And our first interview just arrived, so we had a little malfunction back here. Todd, but that's okay. This is live, folks. This is what happens when this is what happens when you're wrangling. We're in a very small booth. So it's actually quite warm in here, and we have the banner behind us taped, and I think it hit the humidity level where it just kind of sank down behind us, and Todd hasn't left yet, so he's going to tape us back up, which is a good thing. We're in a very tiny space, and space is at a premium here. What can you do? So while that next guest is getting ready, I think it's pretty interesting to go over some what I would call trivia on CES. Certainly it's the largest event like this of its kind in the world. There's no trade show anywhere in the world that's as large as this. And this is the 51 anniversary of CES, and these are some statistics that were actually put out by CES. It's quite fascinating. There's more than 4,000 exhibiting companies, an exhibit space of more than 2.6 million square feet. CES 2017 was a record breaker, welcoming the biggest world companies around and more than 600 startups. Now, more than 180 industrial professionals and 58,000 people from outside the United States all came here to Vegas to participate in CES. And you can go on CES.net and find all these statistics for you, but it's pretty fascinating, and some of the things that they actually break down are almost humorous, but they have the amount of Snapchats, and I'm not a big fan of Snapchat. I don't know why, but I'm just not. But views of CES Snapchat live story were 133.9 million. And let's call it 134 million Snapchats were processed last year for 2017. We'll see how we do this year. And views of official CES videos on Twitter was 4.3 million. So clearly the coverage is definitely here. So what we try to do at the Tech Podcast Network is offer interviews to pretty much anybody who wants to come in with new technology, and we actually will do an interview with them, and we'll see what it is that they have, how it works, what the price points are, so on and so forth. And we okay, Ted?
You're good. I'm just getting bags out
All right.
for people to come in.
Was that interview ready to come in?
She went to the bathroom.
Okay, they went to the... And we'll be right back. It's a good thing to do that when you have a chance here, because it's insane here, really, really. So today I think I had four interesting interviews this morning. They were on my Facebook page. If you go to the Gadget Professor, Facebook / The Gadget Professor, you'll actually see some of the interviews, and we'll repeat those. We'll keep them running throughout the day. One of the interviews that I have that was really, I thought, fascinating was with a company called Relief Band, and what they make, it's like a watch. It looks just like a Fitbit, but actually it looks classier, really well made, and these things prevent motion sickness. It's just a band that goes on, and there's a certain point here where your veins meet. Forget what they called it, but this thing automatically it's just like a wristwatch, and it goes on the palm of your hand, and you know when you have it at the right spot because it sends out an electrical charge. And what it does is, as your eyes are looking, and your brain's looking at the horizon or whatever, and then your ears are moving slightly left, right, whatever, forward, backward, that's what creates motion sickness, the disconnect between your eyes and your ears. Of course, your ears are full of fluid, and there's a little float in there that kind of keeps your center of balance. But what this does is, through using technology similar to a TENS machine, but different technology, actually sends out a pulse. And you can feel it. It's very light, again, similar to a TENS machine, but nowhere near the power. And it will alleviate the motion sickness, morning sickness, nausea, people who are vomiting. And one of the coolest uses was the ability to help people who are getting chemotherapy. And if you watch The Gadget Professor, you know that I love technology that deals with anything medical. And these things are a godsend. And the company was called Relief Band. It was so fascinating. I'm actually going to have them come back and do a whole Gadget Professor show on these bands. They had a price of, I think, $175, but I'll tell you, if you've ever had motion sickness or got seasick or got nauseous in a car or whatever, you'll gladly pay $174 to get one of these things. They last virtually forever. You can recharge them, and the newer ones have 10 settings to increase or decrease the power that it puts out, and everybody has a different setting. So this thing will calibrate itself and relieve you of the motion sickness. So that's pretty clever, and they're FDA approved, which is mind-boggling. So these are the real deal. Unlike the bands that I used to use, C-bands, they were like a mesh band, if you will, elastic, and they had a little ball like a marble, plastic marble in the center of it, and it hit the wrist right here. You had to wear them on both hands. And what they were telling me is that those will give you fatigue after a while. You don't know it, but they stop working. whereas the newer ones, because they're electronic in nature, they sense how much power you need to keep that pressure on that vein. So it's quite fascinating technology, and I'll definitely have them back. And I said, is for $174, $175, they are definitely well worth it. So we're here now. We're waiting for our first guest to come. A lot of people are late because of the horrible weather and the literally massive crowds that are coming into CES today. It's just between the rain and the traffic, it's created a real bottleneck. We're actually on the second floor of the Sands Expo, and I'm in a very small studio here, and I'm actually looking out through the door, and it's just a swarm of people. No question about that. So we're going to have a company coming on in a minute or so, VR1. They do a lot of virtual reality technology, and if they're ready, yeah, you can just send them right in. Again, this is all live, so we're not going to pause for commercials or anything like that. And hi. Okay, just come right in here. This is all your space. We can set up whatever you like. This is mic 2, in case you're wondering. We have a small desk here, as you can see, and very tight quarters. So let's check this out, and we'll get you the company name in a second. The company name is
iHome.
So we're at iHome. Unfortunately, they came in a little bit early, which is great. They always have crazy products, so we're already looking at one of them, and I like the form factor of this already. I have no idea what it is. I'm assuming it's a monitor. But it looks good, it feels good, it's well made, all that kind of stuff. Hi.
Hello.
If you put your headset on, we'll... How's that?
Perfect.
Perfect. Okay, let's go to camera 2 here. Let's see here, we got... there we go. I'm Don Bain, the Gadget Professor.
Hi, I'm Jennifer.
Jennifer, what company are you with?
I'm here from iHome.
iHome, I've heard of them. How's the convention so far?
Convention is good.
Crazy busy?
Crazy busy, as always.
That's
Every
good.
year it gets bigger and bigger.
It does. I don't know when's it going to stop. So you always have some absolutely phenomenal products, and what did you bring us this year?
This year we're showing our new products from 2 of our newer lines. We have iHome Zenergy and iHome Beauty. So we're taking more of a focus on wellness and the daily rituals. So when it comes to sleep, 2 out of 3 Americans have a hard time sleeping. That's either falling asleep
You know what?
or staying
I think it's
asleep.
more than that, but go ahead. I
Yeah.
have a very hard time falling asleep and staying asleep.
Right.
So can you help me?
We absolutely can. So
I'm glad it came to CES.
we have a whole series of products designed
Really?
with light therapy and sound therapy to help realign your circadian rhythms, help you take control of your sleep cycle, relax you, calm your mind from the busy day.
Oh, really?
Everything. So
I got to see.
these are some of our newest products in the Zenergy line. This is the Zenergy candle.
Energy candles, okay?
What this has built in is light therapy in the decor of a flameless candle. So you get all the benefits of having a candle in your home, the relaxing light, the calming flicker, but no flame.
I'm going to pause 1 second. My assistant here is going to help me. Can you respond to that text there? They're asking for directions or something. I'm sorry.
No problem.
It's live. It's live.
It's live. Let's do what we must. So there's light therapy built in as well as sound therapy, and new in this product is a breathing coach. So, people pay a lot of money to go to yoga studios and figure out how to calm themselves. This, at the push of a button, you have a voice comes on that tells you how to calm your breathing patterns down to a 4-7-8 pattern, which is proven to lower your heart rate and calm your mind and put you in the right state of mind for sleep. So we have sound therapy and light therapy tied into this to teach you how to breathe, to teach you how to calm down, and just give you a moment of peace whenever you need it.
Can we turn that on?
We do have an adapter. We can plug one in. We can get that over here.
I have to see everything work.
Oh,
Is it going to put
absolutely.
me to sleep if it turns out?
It might. There are some energizing color programs that we could put on too.
Okay, so
Maybe
this
those
is
would
going
be
to
better.
emit a different colored light depending upon the time of the day, or there's a program that automatically says it's green, it's red, it's blue, it's whatever.
You can select. We've got different options in there. As I said, it's got the candle flicker that we specially
Right.
designed so that it's unintelligibly real. Like you have this in the corner of your room, it's going to look like a real candle.
Well, we'll find out in a second, but how much
Hopefully.
light does this actually emit?
This is a decor product. So this is, sleep therapy products and relaxation products tend to be very clinical. And we wanted to make something that was beautiful, that you wouldn't mind having around your home, that you could use throughout the course of the day, not just when you need to relax, but also just to increase the ambiance of your space, to give you something a little more welcoming. We have it in 2 different options here, the spun glass look and this real stamped metal top.
Okay, so basically they're the same, but just a different look. So cosmetically, they're different.
Yeah.
Okay, so as I understand it now, it's going to emit light.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to put out some relaxing sounds like the ocean or CES background noise or whatever.
Yeah, it's you can drown those out. We've got white noise, nature sounds, the guided meditation tracks, everything built in our energy line.
And we don't have the power supply.
Apparently not.
Okay. Well, again, folks, this is live TV, so that's what happens. So I'm curious. In a room in an 8x10 bedroom, the lights are out, and I would put this on, and am I going to see a blue glow or a red glow? What color would I see?
You will. So we recommend using blue as an energizing light color during the day. That has a shorter wavelength than the way your eyes interpret it and your brain interprets it. That tells your body, don't make melatonin. Be awake. And at night you use red with the longer wavelength that does the opposite. It tells your body
Okay, so
to
it's nighttime,
sleep.
and I'm trying to settle down.
You want to put on a calming red light, and you want to turn on sounds of the ocean that'll help you relax.
So I'm laying there not sleeping, and I'm looking up, and I see red light.
You'll see a nice red glow. One of the light programs here, as I said, is that breathing coach. So that times the pulsating light in a way that helps you time your breath to it. It fills
really?
up in an
So
amber.
I'm not necessarily hearing the sound. I'm actually seeing.
It's a
the light, and
multi-sensory device. Yes.
Really?
You can do it by the sound. You could do it by the light. You can do the combination of both.
Okay. Now this does not work on batteries.
No, this is an AC
Okay.
only product.
Now, what's the wattage of this? How loud is this sound going to get?
It's a smaller speaker. It's more for personal use, not room filling sound. So
This would have to be near my bed.
It's recommended, but the speaker we have in here is tuned specifically for the sounds that we have built in. So
What
that
sounds
you get,
are in here?
You have, as I was saying, some white noise, some nature sounds, the Zen and breathing sounds. Pretty much you can find what works for you, because sleep is a very personal thing. Everybody has a different way that they need to fall asleep. Some people just want to drown out their noisy neighbors, and some people want to feel like they're on the beach.
Okay. And what's the price point of this?
This is $69.99.
Okay. And is this brand new product?
It is. It's brand new.
Have you had any feedback on it yet?
We have. We've had very excellent feedback on it. It's hit stores in October, so we've been around for just the last quarter in the holiday season, and it's been very positive. Whenever we have them set up somewhere, it's always a big surprise. People see them flickering, and they didn't realize that it was one of our products. It's a
So
shame we
would
don't
one
have the board.
necessarily use the 3 functions of this at once, or would just use the light, or would I just use the sound? Is it more effective if I use the 3 elements of it, the breathing technique, the sound background, and the light?
It's very effective if you use all of them together, because it reinforces the proper breathing habits. And even if you kind of lose focus on it because it has the sound, because it has the light, everything ties in together.
So you'd only have one of these per room, right? I would imagine. Because if you had 2, they'd be not in the same cycle.
Yeah, that's true for the
That'd keep you
breathing.
up. That would keep you up.
Yeah, it would be a little bit off center that way.
Excellent, excellent.
So-
Now, who's this for? Who's the audience that would purchase this?
This, because it's a little more of a decor product, where we're figuring an older consumer, we have targets throughout our entire product line to help everyone from children to the elderly. Everybody needs sleep. It's kind of a universal market. And as I said, in America, at least 2 out of 3 people are struggling in some way with sleep. So it applies to everyone.
Interesting.
So these are, sound and light, and we also have this product that adds in a third scent. We've got aromatherapy built in as well. So this also has the sound therapy, the light
That's the craze
therapy.
these days.
It is. It's tied to memory. It's been proven to help people fall asleep.
Yeah.
They've done studies with lavender with infants in the NICU, and it speeds sleep and speeds recovery just by the calming nature of it.
You know, it's funny. I can go into a whole show just on sensory perception and smell, but I predict, and I predicted this many years ago, it still hasn't happened, but, you know, especially at CES, you're seeing all new technology, certainly the virtual reality technology, and, you know, you're putting on these 3D masks. Earlier this morning, I interviewed Kodak. They had an amazing 3D camera. It was really something. But you go to the movies now, and you're experiencing the 5.1 channel sound. You're experiencing it in your home. You know, you have the lights, the sound, the smell is missing.
Yeah.
And you wait and see. Sooner or later, there are going to be sensors when you're watching a movie that if you go through a field of roses or whatever, they're going to pump out the smell, and it will be on a SMPTE track, and you'll actually get the true experience, because I can smell that right now.
Absolutely. This is one that we had running in our booth, so it still has it hanging around in there. But we realized that it's such an important part to help you calm down, is to have that aromatherapy. And again, that's an extremely personal thing. People have their scents that they like, or something like eucalyptus during the day to energize you. So we wanted to build that in with our sound therapy and our light therapy and do it in a unique way. So this isn't a water-based or heat-based system like you would see a lot. Those things can have mess.
Oh, so you
There's
don't
cleaning.
add chemical to that?
So in the back here, there's a tray, and you apply essential oil into this tray.
That's really clever.
And just pop it in. So no water, no refilling, no cleaning, nothing to worry about.
Yeah, plus you don't dilute the solvent.
Exactly, and you can still mix scents if you want.
That's clever.
We include a bottle of lavender oil in the box because it's sleep focused. So right out of the box, you have everything that you need. And again, you can create combinations of sound therapy, light therapy. Now with aromatherapy, you can set timers, and this is also a Bluetooth speaker as well. It's the whole kit and caboodle.
Now, I'm assuming there's no power supply for this.
I don't think we have power supplies for anything.
No power supplies. Okay, so this will emit light.
Yes.
And obviously this part here glows.
Correct.
Okay, it's a Bluetooth speaker. How many watts are we talking here?
This is a 4-watt speaker.
4 watts, okay. So it will fill a room fairly comfortably.
Yes, and iHome, we're known for sound. We have high standards for how we want things to sound.
That's a very clever unit. So how much is this unit?
This is $99.99.
That's a very good price point, I think, for it.
Considering the
what it
combination
does,
of all of those products into one, yeah.
So you can add any type of oils that you want for scents. It's just up to you.
Yep, it's whatever you want to.
And it comes with the lavender.
Yes.
And that's because it helps you sleep.
Yes. So both of these products and our entire Energy line is endorsed by Dr. Michael Bruce, who is the sleep doctor. He's kind of the nation's leading authority on sleep. He's been on the Dr. Oz show, and he has his own publications about sleep. So we work with him, and we've checked in on all the sound therapy, the light therapy, specifically the lavender aromatherapy. So we want to make sure that we're giving everybody what they need to take charge of their wellness.
The aromatherapy is really fascinating to me. I don't think we've even scratched the surface of it. There are certain smells that will just trigger a part of your brain, part of your memory, and you just go back in time. I know when I was a kid, I was originally born in Scranton, Pennsylvania, but we used to go in at this lake, Chapman Lake, and when you drive up on the bus, and I was a little kid, I was probably 5, 6 years old, but you would smell the grass from the farm fields, and it just always smelled good. And it's weird, whenever I'm in the country now, and they have they're mowing the fields with those big tractor trailers, and they're cutting the grass, and I smell it. My brain just automatically, whatever I'm thinking about, I automatically go back to that bus ride, smelling that. It's crazy how it's a really interesting trigger, and it's very powerful, and that's why I really like these things.
Maybe for you then, your sleep schedule could be heightened by having some grass and other natural
I'm not going
scents.
to touch that. I'm not going to go there with that.
Well, you have options.
Is this a smoker also?
None of that.
Okay, hey, it's live. We've got to have some fun here, folks. Okay, that might be something for next year.
There you go.
That we, marijuana is going to be legal now in Vegas, and you can infuse that. Hey,
We haven't done any studies into that with these
but you know what? That might not be a bad idea. Anyway, a fascinating product. I think it's a great idea. I like the form factor of this. It's nice, and as Jennifer said, iHome is known for quality sound products. So it's a very nice combination of products there, and we have, I think, one or two more things here.
We do, and
this is so much fun.
Beauty.
Usually we get someone that just has one product. iHome.
We brought lots of toys. This is our new product in iHome Beauty. This is the Reflect Pro.
See, now I thought that was a monitor. I was getting all excited, but go ahead.
Well, it's crystal clear reflection. This is a top-of-the-line lit vanity mirror Bluetooth speaker. So this combines everything that you might need to enhance your daily ritual of getting ready.
Let's put that on camera so
let's slide
everybody
that
can
over.
see it. I don't want to cover you up, so we'll put it right there.
There we go.
Okay.
So on average, women will spend about 40 minutes on a daily ritual of getting ready. This is time spent in front of a mirror. Yes. And this can be, washing
a woman
your face,
spends
brushing
40
your face.
minutes getting ready?
Getting ready, yeah.
Did
This
you hear
is
that,
average.
folks? 40 minutes? Go ahead.
So that's a lot of time.
Yeah, it is.
So what are people needing these days? They need a distortion-free mirror. They need perfect lighting. So around the perimeter of this is LED lighting that I don't know if this one is on. There we go.
Hey, we got power.
This one works. It has a rechargeable battery. So we've got full spectrum lighting here that's balanced to make sure that what you see in the mirror is actually how you're going to look by the time you put your makeup on. The mirror, as I said, is distortion free, and we include a 10 times magnifying puck that uses a simple stick here. So no suction cups, no magnets. This will actually stick to any sort of hard surface. You could pop it off and stick it on your tiles. And
this is a simple stick?
Mm-hmm.
It works pretty good. Really does.
So this will give you everything that you need from a mirror standpoint to make sure that you can get ready. On top of that, it is a rechargeable Bluetooth speaker, because if you're spending that upwards of 40 minutes getting ready, you probably want to listen to music. You might need to be taking calls and getting ready for your
so
day.
It's two-way. It would be Bluetooth.
So it has
universal. Okay.
Bluetooth speaker as well as built-in speakerphone and USB charging in the back here. So there is a port so you can keep your cell phone charged.
Great.
As you're getting ready. And it enhances your day.
Where's the speaker output? It's coming from the sides?
It's a downward firing speaker.
Okay.
Again, we know that this is most likely going to be used in a bathroom, so we've made sure to tune the speaker in a way that it can handle those kind of surfaces. It's downward firing, so you get reflective sound that is multi-directional. It's not just pointed at you. It's not pointed at the wall. It's going to sound good in any environment.
Is this the first rev of this?
This is the latest in a line of products now. This is our top of the line. We've done smaller mirrors, the standard flip mirrors with lighting on both sides, magnification on one side and flat on the other. But this is the pinnacle product, the largest mirror surface, the best lighting, the largest capacity battery. It's really the top of the line, because this is a huge market. It's not something you want to skimp on in your life. This is you're getting ready for your day. It's the first thing that you see every day. You want to make sure that what you see in the mirror when you get ready is how you look.
So there's 3 settings of light, is what I'm seeing? Mm-hmm. Okay. And I'm surprised that you didn't put some aromatherapy in this. Really, it's sitting here and,
Yeah, it's...
you got to get creative. Like, for me, like pizza. Like the pizza smell would be very... invigorating to me. So, I'm just trying to be off the creative. Some people might the smell of lobster or something like that, but it's a very creative idea. What's the price point on this?
This is a $199 price point.
Now, where's a typical place that people would purchase your products?
Bed Bath & Beyond is our partner for these products. You can also find anything at iHomeAudio.com. We've got our entire mirror line there. As I said, this is the newest and the top of the line, but we have multiple other mirror models depending on how much surface area you want, magnification, rechargeable, or AC only. It's a full suite of products at this point.
Excellent. How long do I get on a charge?
What's our full battery life on the...
Really? But if I was on an average of 40 minutes a day, I'd get 3 weeks out of it?
Depending on light brightness and volume of the speaker, it
All right,
adjusts
it all
everything.
affects
Yeah.
the power. Interesting. And if I don't want to worry about the batteries, I can just plug it in with
Yep,
the adapter, and
absolutely.
that's all supplied. What's the warranty with this?
We have a standard 1-year warranty on our products and excellent customer service if there are any issues.
How many products do you have? I'm just curious.
In our current line,
Yeah.
ooh man, probably 40.
Really?
Yeah. Between Zenergy and the mirrors, we're at like a dozen products between the two, and always expanding that. And then we've got our speakers, portables, waterproof, docking, charging,
What's your most
bedside.
popular product?
Well, the mirrors are
The mirrors.
selling like hotcakes right now.
That's great.
But we're kind of, iHome has been known for the bedside, and now we're expanding into wellness and beauty and other areas of the home because we're a trusted brand, and we want to give people what they need throughout the course of the day.
And the brand's been around for a long time. I mean, it's
Absolutely. And our parent company has been in business for 60 years at this
parent
point.
company is?
SDI Technologies.
Oh, okay.
So that we started with transistor radios and full
I remember
home
those.
units. Yeah. So we keep
you don't
evolving.
remember those. You're too young.
No, I wasn't around for those. We've got them in the showrooms though.
Do you?
Yeah. Those are great. So this is the future. This is where we're headed into, making life a little bit easier and more enjoyable.
And if people wanted more information, they'd go to ihome.com?
Absolutely.
Excellent. Excellent. All the products are there.
Yep.
What did I ask that you need me to ask? That was pretty thorough.
Yeah, that was pretty thorough.
All right, Jennifer. Well, thank you so much for coming on the Gadget
Thank
Professor
you.
Show. I love the products. I think they're really practical and useful. And when you get back to the home office, ask them about that new product line with the pizza therapy.
The pizza therapy.
And the shrimp or steak or barbecue. Barbecue. Everybody likes.
I think pizza therapy just in itself could be the wave of the future.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. And then also we have the infusion of a grass smell.
Yeah.
I didn't say what kind, but makes things interesting. Well, you have a great product, and you did a great job representing them. Thank you.
Thank you
so
very much for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll be right back in 1 minute or less. This is Don Bain, the Gadget Professor. Yeah, that's us. All right. All right, we're going to let the cameras run live here. And is our next guest ready by any chance? No? Okay. All right, let's do a little house cleaning here. Well, that was an interesting interview. I think it's, one thing about CES, it's just absolutely fascinating to see all the companies that are repped here. And as I mentioned a little bit earlier when I was going over those stats, let's see if we can find those again. The interesting thing to me is that probably 85% of what you're seeing here that's new never makes it to market. A lot of companies come here, quite frankly, to find partners, not only in their business, but in the finance section, the finance area. Other people have patents or expertise in a certain type of technology, and people will come here to meet these other companies and team up and do joint ventures. I know Ford a couple years ago came here and they wanted to do a solar car, which actually exists now from what I understand. And they actually came in with the thought of meeting other people, particularly people who had experiences and expertise in solar power. So they actually teamed up with a company that had solar batteries and a company that was really good in storage of power with capacitors and things like that. And all those companies, I think it was 4 different companies teamed up, and over the next 5 years they developed a total solar car. And I guess the hood was a solar panel, and the doors, the hood of the car, the whole bit, the top of the car. And I believe that's going to be a functional product in the next year or two. You certainly don't want to drive that if you're in an area where you don't have a lot of solar power, but in Arizona it'd probably make a lot of sense. I'm sure they have auxiliary systems or store up power, or you can charge them, whatever. But all these new things are developed here at CES, and that's what makes it a lot of fun to see. Sometimes you see a technology and you have no idea what its application is, but there's some company here throughout the masses of people that actually are looking for that technology. So you'll see a lot of people just walking around, just looking at different things. They also put out a book. Do you have those books, the two books? Do we have copies of those? Yeah, do we have the other one too, the daily one? No? Okay, well, we'll get one later. But just to give you a feel, yeah, that's great. Just to give you, thank you, just to give you a feel of the enormity of what we're dealing here is, this is the show, guide, and map. It's such a huge event, and people, sponsors will take ads in it because everybody who goes through CES is going to get this book. But this book actually shows you maps, and it's a directory of every company that's here and how to find them. I mean, I've had several people, so has Todd, that just couldn't find the place because it's just so enormous. But there's diagrams in here, and this whole book is put out just to tell you how to get where you need to go. Also, you can look through this, and it will categorize the different companies that are here, where they're located, and the booth numbers. So that's a must-have. Everybody walking around has one of these. But what always fascinates me at CES is this one. This is the CES Daily. Look at the size of this, and it's a daily, which means this is printed up every day. So today's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You will have a book, and it will all be about this thick, sometimes a little bit thicker. And this is absolutely up to the date. The one for tomorrow is probably going to be printed tonight. But this is just a remarkable booklet, and they have spared no expense. Not a cheap book to produce, and it's done every day. But this tells you the latest and greatest innovations that are about CES, and you can just browse through this and just look at the different products and literally pick out what you want to see, because if you just walk around, you can waste a tremendous amount of time. You can walk this every day from the time it opens till the time it closes and not even scratch the surface, not even come close of seeing everything that's here. So the CES Daily is a must. I actually look at it every day, pan through it and see if there's, what's interesting, what's new, what's old, what's been replaced. But this is like really cool stuff. And you're going to find technology over the whole spectrum of gadgets, if you will. Here's Wiz brightens up the day with connected bulbs. Now, there's a million bulbs out these days, that are Bluetooth or Alexa, if you will, or Google enabled, where you can say turn the light on, turn the light off. Smart homes is a huge new entity out here. It's grown every year by leaps and bounds. This year, I would say there's probably 100, maybe more, different booths that are dealing with the smart home technology, and this is the publication that you would go to daily at CES to find out what's new, what's current, and then based on this, I'll walk over to that booth, I'll do an interview with them, and I'll see what is going on there. So a lot of stuff that happens at CES. It also is brutally crowded here. Going to a restaurant, getting anywhere in traffic is it's a chore, no question about it. Right now, we have, we're waiting for our next guest. We have several different crews that are out right now, and they are acquiring video, interviewing all these booths, and we will actually get that fed back to us shortly and put that on air. So as we're waiting for companies to come, what happens on the first day, particularly today, is because the rain is so bad, the weather's horrible, the traffic's horrible, and it's the first day. A lot of people don't get here on time, which is what's happening now, and Todd's experienced that too. So we just kind of got to wait and be patient for the next one to come. So it's a 1:45 here. Let's see who we have up. We have 3 companies that should be coming in actually any minute. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to figure out here how we can take a pause, and then we will be right back. Let's see here. That's going to bring up my lower thirds here. We have a TriCaster system that we're using here, and we'll be right back after this. Let's see here. There we go. We'll be right back. paused, waiting for our next.
Don't have a lot of B-roll yet.
Is that Max that you talked to, Enza? Okay.
So that we battery died.
Thanks for doing that. My ear.
You need RTMP data, so we have that now.
We have nothing we can put up now.
I got stuck here. I wasn't able to go any content yesterday. Go live and we can start walking. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. This is Don Bain, the Gadget Professor. We are back in action. I see another interview has just arrived. The place is really crowded here, and I think a lot of people the first day are just trying to get oriented as to where things are, so they're working their way in right now. We have some pretty cool people. There's one company here I'm really interested on seeing. Guys from MIT back in Cambridge, Massachusetts, has some crazy stuff. I don't know much about it, but I spoke with them on the phone last week, and something to do with the brain and how we think, and I see them outside, and are they ready to come in? Because we're ready. Okay, we're going to find out. Well, they can come in now because we're
I don't even know what this is, so have this one come in first.
Yep, that's fine. Is that the third eye? Yeah, this should be pretty cool. Now, again, folks, I have no idea who I'm interviewing. I've never met, for the most part, them before. If I did, I would tell you so. And I know as much as you do, but just fascinating stuff. So, hi. Come on in.
How are you?
I'm Don Bain.
Nick from Third Eye. How are you?
Nick?
Yeah.
How are you? And you're with what company?
Third Eye is an augmented reality.
Third Eye and augmented reality. I need a third eye. All right, Nick, put your headset on there. And you have to pull a little bit closer to me.
Oh.
There we go. So you are with Third Eye Augmented Reality. And why don't we first tell people what augmented reality is versus non-augmented reality versus reality?
Sure. So thank you for your time. And Third Eye, we make augmented reality smart glasses. Basically, what happens is you wear it on your face, and you see a digital screen in front of you that's the equivalent of a 90-inch screen at 10 feet. And the cool thing about augmented reality is it overlays digital content on top of the real world. So instead of virtual reality, which is primarily used for gaming and takes you to a different place. Augmented reality still keeps you in the real world, but it adds digital content that's useful for whatever you're doing.
Okay, so am I seeing only what the glasses let me see, or am I seeing through those also?
You can see through the glasses and see the real world.
So I could see the studio here, for example.
Yes, you could.
But over that now, the augmentation comes in when you're overlaying on the screen that's basically an overlay or an overlap of the real world out there.
Exactly. So for example, one application that we've been developing for people with Alzheimer's in healthcare is they wear their smart glass, they look at someone they may have forgotten, and they see that memory's information next to their face. So you can look at someone and see information about them just by looking at them.
Okay, so you're telling me that if I have Alzheimer's, which at the rate I'm going, I will see someone and it's my Uncle Jack.
Right.
But I recognize the face, but I don't know the name, and this is going to overlay, this is your Uncle Jack.
Exactly. So,
okay.
So we can train our application. At Third Eye, we make both the smart glass and as well as these useful applications, and we can train the application to recognize anyone. So
you would have facial recognition, in that database, and when it sees my Uncle Jack, it's going to know it's my Uncle Jack.
Exactly. We can train it to recognize anyone, and that's just an example of one augmented reality application. Another really cool AR app that we've been making for sports entertainment is you wear the smart glass, you watch a game that's happening in front of you. It's in high definition. It's a 90-inch screen at 10 feet.
So if I was watching the New England Patriots.
Yes, you could watch their game, and you could be lying on your bed, you could be at the beach. But the cool thing is if you turn your head 90 degrees to the left or right, you could be watching different matches simultaneously.
So you could be watching what?
You could be watching different matches all at the same time.
Different games at the same time?
Yep.
Jeez, my father would have loved that.
Yep. And you don't have to be in front of a computer, in front of a TV. You could be on your bed, just put on a smart glass, boom.
Wait a minute. Is this something that you're dreaming of, or is this something that exists?
This is something we're actually working on right now.
Okay, so I can't buy this now.
We're shipping in March, and we already have a lot of customers lined up, and we're shipping production level in March.
Okay, so how am I going to watch 3 games or 4 games at once?
So this is something where we're working with various sports organizations where they stream their feeds into different parts of the application. So, for example, you wear the smart glass, you view one game happening in front of you, then just turn your head to the left or right, 45 degrees, and then you have another high-definition screen to your right and to your left.
Have you prototyped this yet?
Yes, we're prototyping some applications similar to this, and we're working on this application right now. But it's just an example of a really cool and useful application.
This is pretty interesting. So, this is coming out in when?
This is coming out, we're shipping in March of this year.
In March of this year. And what functionality will that have if I were to buy one of these in March?
So for most of the people we're shipping out to, they're primarily in enterprise, education, sports, healthcare, and they're asking for specific augmented reality applications that come with the app. So we're creating the content for them and shipping the smart glass with the content they ask for to them.
Okay, so essentially they're specific one-off purchases, and they're actually going to feed you what they want in the database, if you will. You're going to program the database, and then you'll deliver the product to them. Is that basically what's happening?
Exactly. So we deliver customized software, hardware to every one of our customers. But if you're interested in just buying one, we have an app store on our smart glass. We have over 100 developers making cool AR apps. So if you're not an enterprise or you just want to buy one and experience AR, you can buy one as well, and you can download apps from the App Store.
Okay, where does the database reside, and how does it communicate with the VR headset?
So it depends on which application you're running. So for example, for the recognition application, that can run entirely on the headset, or if it's hundreds of people you need to recognize, then it requires internet that has Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, everything built in here. So then it just entirely depends on the app you're running.
Okay, so is it going to be Bluetooth or Wi-Fi?
It's apps would be Wi-Fi based if they required internet.
Interesting. So, if I'm not misunderstanding you, then the database is really esoteric based on what it is that you want the tool to
exactly.
use. Now, as a consumer, am I going to be able to program that database myself? I don't know how to program.
Right.
How do I get it to recognize my family, if you will?
Exactly.
My family
That's
members?
a really good question, and that's why we're making it really user friendly for people. So all you would have to do when you release a product is you would log onto the website and you would take your pictures that you want of specific people, and input it into the website, then just load the app up on the smart glass, and it'll be recognize the person. So it's really user friendly.
So it's a pre-formatted database, if you will, that makes it easy. Everybody
Very
has
easy,
relatives,
yes.
for the most part. You have relatives?
Yes, yes,
Yeah, okay.
thankfully.
Okay.
So there's a lot of different applications I can run on this. This recognition application is just one example of a really useful one for healthcare and medical purposes. Another really useful one we've been developing for enterprises, and they really love this, is a remote health platform. So say you're having trouble fixing like a machine or something. You just wear the smart glass, you stream your live point of view with live audio and video communication to someone who could be 1,000 miles away in front of his computer. He can tell you how to fix something. He can annotate live into your field of view. So he can circle live in your field of view. Look at this, turn this.
That is really fascinating.
That really helps business become more efficient.
Am I going to be able to demo this now?
So right now we're demoing our image recognition application. So let me just turn it on. I just need.
Now, the other thing too is, and let me just ask you, so if it could recognize, for example, my Uncle Al,
right?
Okay, like I have Alzheimer's or I'm not with it, and it sees a picture of my Uncle Al, it's going to say, this is your Uncle Al.
Right.
Okay, will it also tell me, like, remind me that he owes me $100?
Exactly. We can customize it. You can program it to anything you want. This is
so the
cool.
program would have, here's your Uncle Al, and then does he owe you any money? You can just put in the amount?
You could. Yeah, so these are all options we can continue.
See, I like this. This I like. Now, will it collect from Uncle Al?
If you can force him, then who knows? Maybe you'll have some.
Oh, this is good. This is all good. This is good.
Yeah.
Okay, so am I going to be able to demo this thing?
We're just turning it on right now, so just give it a few seconds.
Okay, I'm gonna take my headset off, and I'm gonna actually take my glasses off. I can probably keep my headset on, or do you recommend that I take my headset off?
This has to go behind your ears, so
okay, I'm going to take it off.
Taking it off.
Okay, I'm going to try this, folks. This is live. Don't get scared. This has never been done. Don't attempt this at home. But Mike is looking at me. What's the matter? He needs my phone? I got to give my thumbprint to Wildman Mike. He's here helping us out. I think Mike's going to do a pizza delivery for us. I'm trying to get it to work. Okay, let's see here. Here we go. Okay, Mike, here's my phone. Don't lose it. Okay, everybody's a witness. I'm giving him my phone because in 10 minutes, you didn't give me my phone. I don't know where it is. Okay, I want to test these things out.
Just give it a couple more moments.
Okay, I'll give it a couple minutes now. I want you to notice during this demonstration, at no time at all do my fingers leave my hands when I'm checking this thing out. So this is really cool.
So this is something where if you look at, it would recognize that as a computer. It would recognize them as people.
Okay.
So it could be used. Okay, good. So let me put it on quickly.
Okay, here we go. Don't go away.
Let me put it on your face. Take
my glasses off?
Some people it fits. And you might have to hold it just up for now.
Take my glasses off.
So look at them or look at the laptop. You should see boxes appear telling it what it is.
Okay, so I'm looking around, and right now, Jesus, I owe you guys $20. How did that happen?
Wow.
Okay, so now I'm looking through this, and it seems like night vision goggles. Okay, so I see all these boxes. I'm looking right at my monitor that tells me what's on, and it doesn't say anything.
It's come up laptop, or it should say people.
Just blocks, yeah.
It should say people if you look at them, or person. Or something.
Okay, I'm looking at Todd right now. Todd's nodding his head. Todd owes me $10. Okay. There's Mike. Well, it's very interesting. There's no question about it. Here. Don Bain is right here. Well, I got to tell you, it's absolutely fascinating. I could see the outside world. It's like night vision. But what's interesting is, as I look at different objects, I do see square lines, blocks coming up, and in that I could see how information would be there.
Right. So
it's quite engaging.
So you can train this to recognize anything. So this is a basic application that just recognizes people, laptops, bottles. But imagine if you inputted 100 pictures of your family member.
Oh, I could see huge potential for this.
Hi.
I mean, now correct me if I could see a million things that this will do. I mean, it's
augmented reality is the next computational platform. In 5 to 10 years, people aren't going to be making smartphones anymore. All the major companies, everyone's shipping.
This is the first time that I've actually seen a device like that, and it boggles my mind.
So much potential.
Now, I could see this in a very practical application where we're actually going to have doctors doing surgeries, and they can actually have this on.
Exactly.
And, if they need a piece of information or if this realizes that something has to be done over here that the doc may not recognize, you could throw up that information. That's a bad word. You can put up that information and tell them, hey, check this or check that.
So we're actually in the process of working with various healthcare companies and hospitals where we connect to their database of patients' information.
Yep.
So when they look at a patient, they can see their vitals come up and different information come up. So the really cool thing about a smart glasses is information comes up live in your point of view.
Right.
You can't do this with your phone, with your laptop, or your tablet. You can continue working and still do it. So
Okay, essentially it's artificial intelligence.
it's cool in your live point of view, which is really, really helpful. So you can continue working.
Well, there's certainly an artificial intelligence component
Yes,
of this.
That is correct. That is correct. There's a lot of computations in here. So.
That's a absolutely fascinating product. I'm afraid to ask, so what does the first rev cost? What's this going to cost me?
We develop custom pricing solutions for everyone because each industry wants their own software. They want their own specific numbers. So we have a lot of customized platforms. In terms of if you just want to buy it without any software, specific software, just want to buy it with the app store, just like your phone, it would be cost similar to a phone, so around $800.
That's not bad at all, considering what it will do.
Exactly. This is basically a phone on your face. Everything you can do on your phone, it appears on your face, except the screen is much wider. Only you can see what you're looking at, and you can have information live in your point of view, which is absolutely crucial. So many people.
All right, let me get picky now. As I was looking through the device, it was black and white that I saw, and it was somewhat grainy, the screen. Now, I don't know if that's a function of we're in a dark room or what,
So
but is that under development? I understand it's a prototype, and I understand you're doing some really creative
our
technology here.
Our engineers are optimizing this at the moment, and everything will be ready by March.
So that will improve.
Yes, we're optimizing a few things in here, but right now people are still really enjoying the applications that can run on it. But we're always trying to make it better, always getting feedback, and always seeing how can we make this as cool of an AR experience as possible.
It's a fascinating product, and the company's name is
Third Eye.
Third Eye. I got to tell you, it's one of the more clever things that I've seen at CES in many, many, many years. I'm really in awe of it. I really am.
We have a lot of really passionate developers, engineers.
How long has the company been around?
It's been around for a couple of years now, and this is our first year at CES, and we're trying to make a big impact here.
Where are they out of?
We're based in Princeton, New Jersey.
Okay, I won't hold that against you.
And we are opening up an office in Orlando, but definitely if you're interested in augmented reality and you love this technology, we're always looking for people who are interested in want to help develop.
So if I was a young person and I wanted to start a career and I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I really like this and I wanted to get into that, what would I study? What would I do to get into that field?
I'd recommend just reading a lot and reading just anything related to this type of technology. There's a lot of information out there. And if you're interested, you'll immediately know this is something, oh wow, this has so much potential, this is something I want to do. And you'll immediately have that moment where you're like, wow, this is something I want to do.
But what would I study if I was going to college?
Go to college, there's so many different applications. This is basically a phone on your face, so graphic design or coding or
so there's
user experience.
Almost unlimited opportunity. This is a whole new world. This is a whole other level of, I hate to say artificial intelligence, but that's what it strikes me as. It's fascinating.
And in the next 5 to 10 years, this is going to be taking over a lot of the existing technology.
20 years from now, that will just be a contact lens that's going to go in your eye. I mean, think about it. Or just a pair of glasses and have everything built in. I mean, everything's getting smaller and more condensed. It's a fascinating technology. It really is.
Exactly. So we focus a lot on making it as small as possible while still keeping the powerful features. So we have the largest battery of any smart glass out there. It lasts for a full workday, even running powerful applications.
Is there anybody using this right now, day in and day out?
So we shipped a few out to customers who get feedback from them, and we have it in different verticals. And in March, that's when we're shipping our production units out to a lot of different industries. So we have sports, entertainment, healthcare, manufacturing, and also normal developers just are buying them on 1, 2
It's absolutely fascinating. I'm blown away by it, and I'm sure happy that you stopped by, Nick, and I hope we can get you to come in on the Gadget Professor show so we can do a whole 45-minute show just talking about Third Eye.
Yeah, there's so much to talk about here, so thank you for your time.
You're going to come back?
Definitely, I'd love to. Yeah.
All right, well, that was one of the more enjoyable interviews. I stayed awake for the whole thing. I liked it, and thank you so much for joining us on the Gadget Professor show, and Have a great day, and are you in the Sands area?
We're in the Las Vegas Convention Center, booth number 21733, so feel free to drop by.
And to find out more information about your company,
you can visit us at www.thirdeyegen.com.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. Have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Okay, just leave me your headset.
Oh.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. We got it. All right, I'm going to pause briefly and get set up for the next person, and looks like Mike has some conversation for me. So this is Don Bain, the Gadget Professor. We will be right back. Capital S. That's okay. We'll check. All right, the next company ready? Any other ideas what it could be? What's that? What else could it be? Sunnybrook, 258 capital S. Or try Sunnybrook, capital S. One or the other. It might be Sunnybrook. Get me set up to get into Gmail. It just keeps taking me all over the place. My mail would be forwarded. I would see that. Always forwards. Figure out how I could sign out on this thing. I can't sign out on it. I don't know. Okay. All right, you all set? Sorry about the wait. Well, everybody, it's Don Bain, the Gadget Professor. I am back on the air. We are live, and
hello, Jean-Pierre
Lodge.
Yeah.
And you are with?
I'm come from France, Lyon, center of France.
I could almost tell that. And the company you're with today?
Sorry?
The company that you represent?
My company is My Safe Map.
Okay, and tell us, what do you do? What is it that you make?
In fact, MySafeMap, I can say that you will never travel tomorrow like you did yesterday with MySafeMap.
Okay.
Because MySafeMap is an app. You can download it on Google Play or Apple Store right now.
Okay.
And this app gives you the opportunity to share, rate, comment, take a picture about places all around the world, and you give your safety feeling about the place you go.
Okay.
So it is based on the power of community, and the community can share and rate all places in the world. And like that, before moving, before booking an apartment, before booking a flat, or you can be safe, and you can see what is saying the community about the place you want to go.
Interesting. Now, what would be the practical application?
In fact, the idea, to answer the question, it's very easy, because the idea, I get it 2 years ago, or more or less. I was in Milano. I speak Italian, parlo italiano.
You speak Italian?
And so I was in Milano, and
Are you from?
from France.
Okay,
But
you
I speak Italian.
Okay.
And Italian, Milano is, let's say, 4,000 miles from my, and less from my town. And then I wanted to visit Milano, so for a weekend. I booked, through Booking, a very nice hotel. Very nice. And it was really very nice. And for the evening, I dressed up, and I went in a walk to find a restaurant. And then outside of the hotel, I discovered a suburban neighborhood which was not safe at all. What I did, I take Uber.
Yes, I'm familiar with them.
I know that. In France also, we have got some problem with the government. And then, and so with the taxi, let's say the taxi driver, he told us that everybody knows that in Milano this neighborhood is not safe. But how can I how can I know that?
Right.
I am French. I speak Italian. I've already been in Milano, but I don't know where the places are safe or not. So with MySafeMap, the community gives you this information. So you go on MySafeMap, and you choose a location, and you can slide on the map, and you find a place with a filter also. With a filter, you want to see only 5 stars places for restaurants or shopping or family or living or making sport. And it gives you the places on the city,
Okay.
which answer your question.
All right. Let me be the devil's advocate, if I may. Now, what's the difference of doing that opposed to me just going on to Google and saying where's 5-star restaurants in Milan, or just going on Yelp? Are you familiar with Yelp?
Yes, of course. But
what's the difference? I ask hard questions, so it's okay. I want to hear.
I don't have this information on Yelp or Google.
Mm-hmm.
I don't find it. I don't know.
Okay.
I want to know not only the restaurant, for example.
Right.
But I also want to know just around. How is it?
So where does this information come from?
The community. You and I, the safe mappers.
Okay, so let's just say, for example, I'm trying to get my head around this. So let's just say I want to go to Scranton, Pennsylvania, and it's not a very technological town per se. Okay, and there's some parts that are nice. There's some parts that are not nice. What's the chances of a quote community existing in there where I can use this device
that's the
and
question.
find out, hey, it's safe or it's not safe?
So we are just beginning, So we are looking for funding here in CES Las Vegas, because we need to map 1,000 biggest cities in, let's say, North America and Europe, the 1,000 biggest cities. And we have to catch the first 1 million and then 10 million users on MySafeMap. And at that point, let's say it's a blast. So at that moment, the community comes because you find the information you want on Pennsylvania, for example. This is the power community. Everybody is begun like that. Instagram began like that.
Okay, so this product doesn't exist at the moment.
Nobody did it before. Nobody. And Cupertino, Apple, has checked a lot, this application because before giving us the opportunity to be on Apple Store.
Now, will the information be changeable? Like, would it quickly change on the fly if a particular area became a bad area? If something happened and you wanted to stay away from that, would the community have to be? I don't want to say on call 24 hours, 7 days a week, but the community would have to respond in order for this information to be accurate.
In fact, you know. When the data has been put on the applications, you know when, and so you can know it is fresh or not. We are living in an area where data has the power, and so this application, what you are saying, I know there's a crime here, that time, it is not the problem. We want to know which are the nice places and places are not nice, and you know about your town, I know about my hometown, but I don't know your town and you don't know my town.
Right.
And the idea is to share. Give me your information, I give you mine. And when you come in Lyon, in France, when I go in your country, in your city, I don't know where you live, maybe Las Vegas, I don't know.
I live in Arizona, actually.
Sorry,
Scottsdale,
Arizona. Okay, when I go to
Arizona?
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay. You like heat?
Sorry?
Do you like heat? Hot?
Oh, a lot.
Yeah. You
Where
like
can
Arizona?
I will go. Okay. Thank you very much for your invitation.
Absolutely. There's no French restaurants that I know of.
Oh, no problem.
In Scott, very few. Any French restaurants in Arizona? Some of the time. Okay. But I know good Italian restaurants.
I love
and
Italian
you speak
restaurants.
Italian?
Yeah, parlo italiano molto bene.
Okay.
Anche con l'accento.
You know what? Miss Ranieri, Enza, our guest here speaks Italian. Could you ask him if Milano is safe in Italian? Now, she speaks Italian fluently.
Milano is what?
Ask him if it's safe, and she speaks Italian.
Ma a Milano ci sono delle zone in Milano, come dappertutto, che sono sicure e altre che non sono. E l'idea di MySafeMap è quello.
Mio padre è nato a Milano, San Giovanni.
Non conosco tutta Milano, ma non le so dire, ma domani andrà su MySafeMap. Tomorrow you will go on MySafeMap, you will enter the exact address in Milano where your father was born, and you can check it safe or not right now, because the power is the community has the power, the data is the power of tomorrow, of today and tomorrow, and this is the idea of MySafeMap.
Aren't you amazed that I have someone here that speaks fluent Italian? I have someone that speaks Polish, Irish, Yiddish. Huh? Pretty cool, huh? Thank you.
It was a pleasure. So you can download it, MySafeMap, on Google Play and Apple Store, and it is a pleasure.
Okay, so you're going to come back next year, and I want to see this thing up and running.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for coming on the Gadget Professor Show. Great idea. I wish you well with it.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
This is Don Bain, the Gadget Professor. We're going to set up for the next interview. Give me 2 or 3 minutes, and we will be right back. I promise. I promise. Hi, it's Don Bain. Let's get my headset on here, folks. It's Don Bain, the Gadget Professor. We are back. We didn't pause that long. At CES Live 2018, we are doing a new interview every 15 minutes, and let's see who we got here.
I am Sylvain Spanner. I'm French, but I'm located in Oxford, in England.
How are you? I'm Don Bain, the Gadget Professor.
Fine.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Okay, tell us about your company and what we're going to take a peek at.
Yes, so Robo is a French company based in England.
Right.
And we have developed a smart connected thermometer to measure your consumption of water, but to see it directly on your smartphone, tablet, or computer.
Oh, okay.
And to see it, you're going to make some reduction of your water consumption by yourself. That means that you have your water consumption, and when you see it, you will reduce it. And then we improve it by programming some system of leaks to detect the leaks. That means that if you have a tap still open in your house or in your building, in your entire building, you can have an alert on your mobile to see that there is a leak. Or if you have an unusual behavior of your tap, you have an alert also on your smartphone, computers, or tablet. So this is a smart thermometer that you can plug in your building, in all your buildings.
So, for example, I have a summer home in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
And right now I live in Arizona.
Yeah.
Right now it's probably 15 degrees.
Yes.
Back in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
I would not want my pipes to break. That would not be good.
Yeah.
So I would put this device on.
You will put this device on your oil taps on your.
Could I put it on the water, the main that comes into the house?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And so you have directly an alert. So, but for the moment, we are working with B2B market.
Okay.
That means that our main customer are European, and we work with hotel groups, for example, because there is a lot of rooms, and actually hotel groups didn't know how much water they use.
Right.
They have a global consumption by month, but that's all. And with that, they plug the system at the entrance of the room, and they can have all the behavior of the water
in real time.
In real time, and of course, you have all your data consolidated by day, by week, by month, by years.
Right.
So it's a real difference. It's not just to measure the water; it is to measure the water everywhere. For another example, we work with airports, and they have some clean workstation to clean the planes, for example. And
This
they
is
work.
like an enterprise system, basically, for...
Yes, first it's for enterprise, but for an house, this is the same thing.
Right.
The difference is that we need to have our own Wi-Fi. That means that it's a LoRa technology developed with Sachem.com. It's an international company, and there is a hub box to communicate between this device and our server.
So the water is going to flow through here.
Yes, in
And
this
as
sense.
I see, there's a propeller. You can't see it inside here.
Yes.
So as the water flows, the propeller will spin, creating electricity.
No, not yet. This is the
Well,
second version,
but-
because
but
by
it-
creating electricity, we can have more energy inside. But for the moment, we have a battery inside this box.
Okay, but this is still going to be able, because this turns, it's still going to be able to measure the flow, the turn, how fast this turns, and then it will create data from this turning.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
It creates data from this turning, and that data is sent in our
Right.
server, and you will receive
So
it.
how accurate are these? How accurate? Is the accuracy of these very good? Or the
Yes. The precision is about 0.3 liters by minute.
That's pretty accurate.
Yes. It's not, if you have a leak drop by drop, you cannot detect it. But
Of
if
course.
you have a
Yeah,
small
but
water.
you're looking at the total picture here, not looking at a drop.
Yes, exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And this is available now?
It's available now in Europe, and we are working for compliance and regulation for US. For
not
UI
easy stuff, huh?
Yes. And it's interesting because there is a problem on the planet with the drought.
Right.
And in California, for example, there's a lot of problems. So if you want not waste your water, you have to understand how you can use it.
Sure.
And how many liters you use every day. All right.
Very interesting.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. If people wanted more information, would they go to your website?
Yes, we can go on the website, or if you are in Las Vegas, we have a booth there.
And the website is ROBEAU.
Yes.
Tech.
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you very
Tech.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on the Gadget
Pleasure.
Show. I wish you much luck with this great product. Very clever.
Thank
and,
you.
We wish you much success with it.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. This is Don Bain, the Gadget Professor. We'll be right back in about 2 minutes or less. Stay tuned. Thank you. Hi. Oh, Max.
Yeah.
Max, you finally found us, Max.
I did.
How you doing?
Good.
All right, let me go back on here. Just bear with me a second. Hello, everyone. It's Don Bain, the Gadget Professor, coming to you live and certainly in color from our CES 2018 location. We are now seated in the Sands Expo, and it is a insanely crazy place, which is good. And right now, I have Max Newland.
That's right.
Now, I spoke to Max on the phone, I don't know, maybe 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I had a hard time getting my head around what Max did. No pun intended there.
Yeah.
But we had a great conversation, and this is going to get a little philosophical, a little esoteric. But Max is working on some crazy stuff. I think it's crazy stuff, but I think it's fascinating. And you're going to enjoy this interview. At least I'm going to enjoy it, so hopefully you will. So, Max, tell us where you're from. I know you're from Somerville, Mass., but I think we talked a little bit that I spent most of my adult life in Massachusetts.
Right.
And
I
used
the
to be
508 phone number.
Yep, I used to be a professor at Boston State College for many, many, many years, and now I have semi-retired, and I'm doing the Gadget Professor show. And tell us your story, because it's kind of neat.
Yeah, it is. And
this is not going to be an easy interview, just so you know.
The neat thing about what we do at BrainCo is it is not so hard to break down and understand. And I'll tell you about that in a little bit. But let me give
the company's called BrainCo.
BrainCo, yep.
Okay.
We're a brain-machine interface company. We're in Somerville, which for those of you who don't know is right next to Boston. We're about less than a mile away from Harvard University. That's where our office is.
Okay.
And so we do brain-machine interface technology, and what that basically means is we're measuring the information coming from your brain, and we use that for several different applications.
That's assuming there's any information.
That's assuming there's any.
brain.
Yeah, once in a while we find a zombie, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's that. But basically the way it works is your brain communicates using small electrical impulses, and when enough of your brain cells, your neurons, fire at once, that electrical impulse is big enough for us to detect on your scalp.
Correct.
And now based on some different features, like frequency and amplitude, we can detect different cognitive states. And that might sound confusing, but if I break it down, I know you'll get it. Okay, great. So the easiest way to understand it is this. While you're sleeping, you can imagine your neurons are not too active. You know, they're kind of firing at a pretty good rate. If you're awake but relaxed, they're firing a little bit faster. And if you're really engaged with something, you're doing mental math, you're watching something, you're listening to something really intensely, they're firing at a much quicker rate. So that's the frequency, the speed at which they're firing. And then we're also looking at the strength or the amplitude, the power, and a couple other features, and that's how we're determining something like relaxed versus idling versus focused. And so in the classroom, that really matters, because teachers need to know what type of materials are engaging their students. And if they can know this, they can improve their teaching methodologies.
Okay, so the premise is that your brain's putting out, for simplicity purposes, an electrical pulse.
Yep.
We also know this because I guess they can detect early onset Alzheimer's now by looking at your brain scan.
Yeah.
Seeing a certain area, not a particular color or a particular color, and saying that you can probably get this, you're probably not going to get it, or somewhere in between.
Yeah.
So you're going to be able to qualify, quantify, and identify this electrical information because it lights up various parts of your brain, which we know controls different functions.
You got it.
All right. How am I doing so far?
100%. A plus.
Good.
Yeah.
So, certain parts of your area are involved in muscle control. Certain parts are involved in memory. So, your premise is, as I'm understanding it, and I don't want to speak for you, is that the electrical impulses will give you information about if I'm bored or if I'm not bored or if I'm cognitively processing what the teacher is teaching per se.
Right.
And knowing that information will allow you to essentially mathematically figure out how to reverse the process or enhance the process.
That's right. Because
we're good so far.
We're good so far. Yeah.
Okay.
Take it away.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so the everything you're saying is spot on, and the reason why it's important is because if you can increase student engagement, then you get all these other types of educational outcomes. Yeah.
Okay, so let's get to the crux of it now.
Yes.
So, I'm a 10-year-old student, and I'm smart, but I have attention deficit disorder.
Right.
In addition to having attention deficit disorder, I can't sit still, so I'm a little hyperactive. Okay, so how would your science, how would BrainCo go about trying to help me?
Sure. So with ADHD,
Is that a fair question?
That is an absolutely fair question, and it's actually one of the applications that we're exploring is ADHD. So with ADHD, there are some studies that suggest this type of measure, which is EEG. It's used in some other types of research and medical applications. You can use EEG to figure out certain classifications of attention deficit disorder because people with ADHD tend to have a harder time focusing, so you see more of the relaxed or drowsy or unengaged brainwaves comparative
Hypnotic.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, compared to the focused brainwaves. And if you look at people without ADHD, perhaps the balance is a little bit different. There's some science there to suggest that. So, with neurofeedback, in which we give the information back to the person and try to help encourage them to rebalance this distribution, you can reduce some symptoms. So this type of treatment has been researched for past couple decades. There's a lot of really promising research, and what BrainCode is doing is trying to apply this in the home for people with ADHD.
Okay, so a couple questions here. One, how are you going to apply that? How are you going to actually do that? What's going to happen to me, to that 10-year-old boy?
Sure. So
Or girl.
we have our or girl right here. We have her wearing the Focus One headband, and with the Focus One headband, there's a few sensors on it, and that's how we're detecting the electrical impulses coming from the brain. And then she gets feedback on her phone through a video game. And in order to win the video game, she has to get herself into this focus state. So when she's in focus state, she gets some coins, she gets some points, she wants to win the game. And so through this process, it's kind of like flexing a mental muscle, and she can get better and better at entering the
How's
state.
this differ from, biofeedback?
It's exactly the same thing, neurofeedback. It's just biofeedback, but for your brain. That's right, yeah.
So it's the same thing, per se?
Same thing. Biofeedback, I think, is a bit broader. You can use any type of feedback coming, pulse or breathing rate, things like this. Neurofeedback.
Okay, so we'll
is just
call it
yeah.
neurofeedback.
Yeah,
So
sure.
you're going to rearrange or try to rearrange or reset, if you will, my thought processes to elicit the behavior that you want. So I'm going to play a game, per se, whatever that is. And if I do it correctly, I'll win the game, but it's also going to tell me how I'm, through the phone visualization, how I'm getting back on track to be where I need to be.
That's right.
What is the differentiation between person A being on track and person B and person C? Is the game going to have, if it's going to be a game, you're smiling already, you know what I'm asking you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So, it's personalized based on your brain waves. And that's a really good question because sometimes neurofeedback, when you do neurofeedback, sometimes that's overlooked. And it's actually important that you don't overlook that. So we're picking up on these little features to make sure that your training is a little different than my training, but we're both getting the effect we want.
Okay, so essentially the patient, if you will, I hate to use that name, but the patient,
user, yeah.
Okay, the user, you have to extract some data from that user to get a baseline to figure out what makes them who they are.
Right.
Based on that, on that baseline, you're going to create a program.
The training is customized to them, yeah.
Okay, who customizes that training?
So let's take a really simple game. This isn't the game that we have, but let's imagine that there's a balloon, and in order to make the balloon float, you have to get into a focus state. Okay, that's the game. Now, focus state is going to be different for you, and it's going to be different for me. So based on the baseline measures, when I enter my focus state, the balloon go up. But if I enter your focus state, it's not going to do the same thing. But when you enter your focus state, when you're playing the game, then it'll go up. That's how it's customized. Yeah.
Okay, and that's basically because everybody kind of marches to their own drum beat.
Based on your age, based on some other features, yeah.
Now, do you have this thing in practicality? Is this working now? Is this something
Yes.
that's up?
Yeah. So at our booth, we have about 5 demos running. One is just for the education product. One is for the at-home version, which we're kind of talking about now. We have some integrations with Amazon Alexa, where you can control smart lights, a humidifier, a motorized curtain, and
How can I control that? By just thinking about it?
So when you enter your focus state, the smart device will activate. And when you enter your
But am I
relaxed state-
wearing anything?
Yes, you are wearing this. Yeah,
Okay,
that's
so
how we're
you have to
detecting,
wear
yeah.
your band.
That's
Because
right.
that's essentially the transmitter.
Yeah, that's right.
So I could have this band on my head, and this is what it looks like a headband. There we go. And I'll have the headband on, and I could be thinking, turn that light on, and it's going to turn on.
So you choose, close but not quite, you choose what you want to interact with. So I say, Alexa, connect me with the light. And now I'm connected with the light. And when I become focused, then the light will turn on. And if I become relaxed, then it'll turn off. So it's similar to the training, it's just more fun. Right? It's not about precise control of everything around you. It's more about interactive brain training game.
All right. What's the difference between me saying, Alexa, turn the light on, and me saying, Alexa, I want to turn that light on, and then think about it, and the light turns on?
So one of them has
You can tell me if I'm
No, that's
pain
right.
in the neck.
No, you're not.
Okay.
I think it's important to point out because I don't want people to think that you slip this on, you can control everything around. That's not what it is.
Right.
It is a way to engage in brain training. And it's a way to interact with the world around you using your brain. It's not as quick as just,
Who determines what the correct way of your brain is to think?
So there are set training protocols for trying to increase your attention or increase your relaxation. So like we mentioned that there are certain features in people with ADHD. There's certain features when you're relaxed. There's certain features when you're focused. And so we will reward them by the light turning on when you get into that place.
I don't know. It seems awful Pavlovian, if you will.
It kind of is, but it's training for yourself. Like, you have to choose to do it. It's kind of like, do I want to do brain training? Do I want to train myself how to relax? And now I can do it with the Amazon Alexa. That's kind of just a glimpse of where brain-machine interface is going. It's not the actual product. The actual product is for, the education application.
What successes have you had, or what experience have you had in using this technology?
So from a company point or anything? Yeah, sure.
Anything you want to tell me?
Sure. So
don't forget, this is a live show. I can't.
Yeah.
There's no buttons.
Okay, I'll stick with the press release stuff. Yeah. So we were incubated in Harvard Innovation Lab. We raised a $5 million fundraising round last year. We're raising a $25 million Series A round this year. It's the biggest fundraising round in the brain-machine interface industry this year. We have a $4 million order with a Chinese distribution company that we're going to be delivering in the next few years. And now we're working on how can we get this into the U.S. education market. How do we create that product that's really valuable for that education model, because it is different than the Chinese education
that doesn't
model.
exist yet.
The U.S. one is still being developed.
Okay.
The Chinese one is being delivered in the next couple months.
Okay, and you said there's a difference between the Chinese and the U.S. Can I ask what that is?
Sure. So in the Chinese educational model, there tends to be more children in one classroom. And so if we're interested in measuring student engagement and giving that feedback to teachers, a teacher can do that in a small classroom, right? If I have 5 kids in front of me, I can tell who's engaged, who's not. But when you have 60 kids or 80 kids, it gets really hard to do this. The other feature is, we're actually quantifying it. So even though teachers have this intuition about who's engaged, who's not, we can actually quantify it and give that data back to them and give that data back to the students.
Yeah, what runs through my head, and I'm not saying that it's right. It's just a thought that occurs. It's like you're it's like training robots almost.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that it is. I mean, that's what's going through my head right now. It's
I think it's important to think about these things and like what are the
we talked about this when we had our first conversation.
What are the different
Is that
angles?
a fair question?
It is.
Okay.
Absolutely. I think that
in the wrong hands. Don't get me wrong. In the wrong hands, the techniques that you're using could be very dangerous.
Yeah.
In the right hands, they can do all kinds of great things.
Absolutely.
But
absolutely. That is absolutely true. And, teachers use tests to assess how their students are learning, and then the teacher will take action based on the performance of the student. So what we're doing is just creating a new dimension of how teachers and students are interacting. Can we give them a new type of information that was previously unavailable?
Okay, so if we extrapolate what we're saying out, we're looking ahead 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Okay, so I have the headband on, and it's 10 years from now. And and I know at the rate technology is traveling, a lot happens in 10 years.
Yeah.
So in theory, I don't think anybody would question. We would both agree that we've established, and we all agree. I think we all agree that the headband's going to harness the energy that your brain is emitting, essentially measure those electrical impulses, and through feedback, you can learn to control those electrical impulses. Surface. We're okay with that.
Yeah.
So, extrapolating from that, it's theoretically possible. Okay, that in 10 years from now, I can have this band on, and instead of selecting that light, I can look at that light. I'm thinking about that light. That light is tuned to the frequency of my brain, if you will, for lack of a better description. And I'm now going to turn that light on, or turn it red, or turn it green, because I'm thinking about it. And this is actually sensitive enough now to read the little variations in my brain waves, specifically for me.
In 10 years, yeah.
So you would agree with that?
Yeah, that's definitely the direction. It's obviously really hard to put a number to it, but 10 years,
whatever.
That's fair. Then yes.
X amount. I mean, this is today. It's theory, but you're already at the point where you have the band, if you will, the sensors, and you're already at the point where you can measure and qualify and quantify the data that's coming out of someone's brain.
Yes.
And it's no leap to get from the data being read by that band to sending that data to a controller on Alexa or whatever the case may be. There's no jump there, right? I mean, it's here today.
It's just the precision. Yeah.
Exactly. But that's going to get fine-tuned.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be less than 10 years.
I hope so.
I just worry about the moral implications of it. I just worry about the technology in the wrong hands. Because, I mean, this is science, and it's going to work. And in the wrong hands, this could create havoc.
I think that's an ongoing discussion that people have with technology, and it's
Is there a
important.
discussion that ever happens in your company?
Yes, yeah. So every day we're thinking about data
Are you having
privacy.
fun in this interview, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's good to talk about these things.
Okay.
It really is.
Okay.
It's important to think about data privacy and data security every day. We're working with some really great education technology advisors to make sure everyone is trained on the state-of-the-art ways to make sure everyone's data is secure and private, and that the people who are using the device own their own data. Right. So we're doing everything we can.
I mean, there's a huge implication there. And what happens if someone breaks into the database and knows what I'm thinking, and I'm holding a high position within the government and know certain things that no one else should know for the protection and security of my country.
Yeah.
Someone breaks into that database, I put my headband on, and I'm thinking of a code or this or a code.
Yeah.
Makes a great movie anyway.
Yeah, that's kind of what it sounds like. So you can't read thoughts yet. But when we're talking about the future. We're talking
Electrically, it's possible. I
It-
mean, it's
yeah, it
certainly
could be.
theoretically possible to
Yeah.
do this, and it's not like we're making this fantasy up.
Right.
I mean, it's reality. We've established the brain does emit electricity. I mean, that's a given. We've established that it's harnessable, and it's not only your company. There's all kinds of sensors that can harness that.
Yeah.
We certainly know how to transmit data.
Yeah, that's right.
Like I said, there'll be a lot of good movies coming out. of this.
I think there will be. I think there's probably a Black Mirror episode about this. There has to be. And if there's
Yeah,
not,
right.
there's going to be.
Right.
They're going to watch this and make it.
So, if more people wanted information about your company, where would they go?
So they go to brainco.tech, and if people are watching this and at CES, maybe some people are doing that. They can stop by our booth and try all of our demos. We have a robotic hand. There's a Chinese double amputee who we've built a really low cost prosthetic hand for. They can come and meet him. They can try the education product. They can try it all.
Shake hands with him?
Yeah.
Okay, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just
If you want to come by, bring the cameras. Yeah, we can do that.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I'm curious, can you tell the audience a little bit about your background?
Sure. So I did my undergrad in cognitive science, and then afterwards I worked in some neuroscience research labs where we used fMRI, so the brain scanning machines.
Where'd you go to school?
UConn for undergrad.
Okay,
Yeah.
I won't hold that against you. Go
Oh,
ahead.
yeah. And then, why? Where'd you go?
No,
okay.
I went to Boston State College, actually.
Okay.
But
Yeah, and then worked in some neuroscience research labs. We looked at meditation and yoga, how that affects the brain. I also worked at another research lab where we looked at different neurological disorders. And then I went to the Harvard Graduate School of Education, and then
Smart kid.
And then joined BrainCo. So I had this neuroscience piece, cognitive science pice, education piece. That fit right into what they're doing.
I think it's a fascinating product. I think it's fascinating technology. You're a fascinating guy. So, I always like to inform my listeners because they have families and kids and things like that. And I think this is really the future. I think of everything that's out here, and my God, you and I know. I mean, you could spend months walking through this stuff and not even scratch the surface.
Yeah.
But, if someone were interested in this field, what would they study? What would they take? How would they get to a point where they're qualified to work for a company such as this?
Yeah, we have a lot of mechanical engineers, electrical engineers. We have people who are studying computer science. We have people who are studying neuroscience. If you just think about what's involved in this, there's a lot involved in this.
Oh, yeah.
If you pick any one of those, my background is cognitive science, and then actually my degree at the education school is in human development psychology. That's also a piece of this. So you can kind of come at brain-machine interface from a bunch of different perspectives. So I would absolutely encourage people to think about getting into the field.
Oh, it's fascinating.
Yeah.
I mean, it's in the right hands. This can help a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, if anyone is interested, we absolutely would love to talk to them. If they have questions, if they just want to chat, or if they're interested in the company itself, if this is a career that they want to move towards.
How can they get in touch with you?
So brainco.tech, you can find us on Twitter, Facebook. Just Google us, brainco.tech.
Brainco.tech.
Brainco.tech, or just do Brainco. You'll find us. Yeah.
Well, Max, this was a fascinating interview.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was great. So
Yeah.
We'll have you back on the Gadget Professor show.
I love that.
And we'll spend about, 45 minutes, an hour talking about that. I'll get some feedback from the audience who is actually watching this. But it's a very interesting discussion. Not only does it bring in ethics, morals, philosophy, but it also brings in science and I hate to say gadgetry, but here you are.
Yeah.
And I don't think
That's a gadget.
I don't think it's much of a shot in 10 years at all.
I hope so.
At all. I just don't think it is.
I hope so.
At the rate things are going, that you'll just be able to put this on or something like this, or have that band now. It's embedded in your glasses,
right?
And away you go. It's just fascinating the things that could be done with it, and this whole industry is in its embryonic stages. So there's a lot of opportunity. And you know what? They're going to need people that have those skill sets 5, 10, 15 years from now.
That's right.
So
that's right.
Well, Matt, it's been a
Thank you so
a
much.
real
I'm
pleasure.
so happy we connected. This was a lot of fun.
That we connected, and we'll be in touch.
Sounds great. Thanks, Tom.
All right.
All right, take care.
Matt Newland from Brainco. Cool stuff. Definitely cool stuff. That's what's fascinating about CES. You never know. You just never know who you're going to talk to or what you're going to get. And don't go away. We have our next interview coming up. I'm not even taking a break. I'm just going. So, all right, let's see here. Frank, Skylink.
How we doing?
I'm great. How you doing? Thank you for being patient and waiting for me while I was rambling on.
You deserve a break.
You know, no. Now, Frank, your last name is pronounced Cicero, and you're the national sales manager for Skylink, and they make wireless controls, all kinds of cool stuff. So, what did you bring us today? What are we going to look at?
Like you said, we make everything wireless, so that's our motto. We're a wireless world. So we're introducing at CES this year our new Nova product.
Okay.
Nova is an all-in-one product. You can see here. It's ideally is to retrofit an existing garage opener.
Okay.
An old
Hold
garage.
on 1 second, Mike. Can you pull the camera back just a tad? He's a lot taller than I am.
Chopping my
We
head
want to
off,
make
but-
everything look nice,
yeah.
folks. There we go. That's
Okay.
that's cool enough. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No
I
problem.
apologize.
So this is it's a retrofit.
Right.
It's for an existing old garage opener that you may have had like 10, 20 years.
Yeah,
that's still working
that's
fine.
older than me, I
A lot
think.
of
Well,
people
maybe
have
not.
had a lot of people have garage and they work fine.
Right.
But they want to know now how can I control that from my smartphone?
Right.
How can I link it with my other smart stuff with Alexa and stuff like that? So this unit you can mount in the garage on your roof. It plugs into your power outlet.
Right.
And you simply take 2 wires from here and hook it up to your garage wall button.
Right.
So to your closing
That'd be
button.
that red button that you push to program or something
No,
like that.
no, just the wall switch that you have on your wall button.
Oh, okay.
Just
okay.
tap it into there in parallel with that. You can
That's
leave your
easy enough.
existing switch. You can either hook it up at the
'Cause it's
motor.
just on and off.
Yeah, it's just
Okay.
a closed switch. From there, this will control all that from. Now you download the app from your the Play Store or iOS.
Right.
And it gives you your status of the phone or the opener. You can close it and open it, and you also get notification when somebody else opens it. And you can obviously monitor the situation. The other part is that this also expands into a full home automation and security system. So it's not just a hub controller for your garage opener. It expands into your whole home. So we have retrofits for light switches, smart plugs, screw-in bulbs. We have door window sensor to do your alarm systems.
So it's almost like an enterprise system. It will pretty much do anything that you
Expands
want.
into a full system, yes. So we have water leakage detectors. We have.
Now, does this
other
stuff exist now?
This is a prototype
prototype,
sample,
right,
of course.
that one.
It is coming out spring of this year, 2018.
Okay.
We'll be retailing about $100.
Well, that's very reasonable for what it
Very
does.
reasonable. And there's more to it. Apart from expanding with your home security, automation, everything else, you can. This also has a microphone that will detect any audible alarms from a CO detector or a smoke detector.
That's ingenious.
So when that detects an alarm going off, like a smoke detector or CO detector, it will open your garage door to ventilate and
What an
bring
excellent
some fresh
idea.
air.
That's
So
impressive.
apart from that.
What a cool thing. That can
Yeah.
save your life.
Exactly. And you know how many times people,
Oh,
the
God, yeah.
car,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
cars have remote starters. They start the car, they forget something leaks,
yeah.
whatever.
You know, especially with the hybrids now. I mean, I have a Lexus hybrid, and I turn it on. I don't even hear it.
Right.
It's
And you
on.
don't know if
And
it's on
not
or-
running,
Right.
but it's on.
It's on,
I
yeah.
can't tell you how many times I've got out of the car, thought I turned it off, and the car's
And you
still
don't
on.
do-
Because
exactly.
the only way I know is because it starts beeping crazy when I walk. However, if that stays on for a while, at some point in time, that motor kicks on.
Yeah.
And if
It's
I'm not,
same with some of the cars that have the auto stop. When you're at the light, if you're
Yeah,
there for
yeah,
a few
yeah.
seconds, 10 seconds, my wife's car does it. It stops. So you come in the garage, you stop it, and the engine's still running, but it could be in the stop mode. So it detects that. The other part also, this is fully compatible with the Amazon Alexa.
Oh, it is.
So you can talk to it, and Google Home, and IFTTT. So what that means now, if I open the garage door, maybe I can turn a Philips Hue light red, or control, sync it with your Nest thermostat or
Yeah.
anything else, or any
It's-
of the smart devices.
It's called NAND and NOR commands.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But one's a trigger, one's the action,
Right.
one's a trigger.
Okay.
So we have multiple accessories for it in our brochure. This is a picture of the app, what the app would look like on your phone.
Right.
It indicates your status of the door open and close. It will support up to 100 sensors between door
Wow.
sensors and window doors, light switches, retrofits, and everything else like that.
Now, how do those switches communicate between each other?
All of them are wireless to this unit. So they operate on a single AAA battery. They're very efficient and low power. and
Okay,
low
what
cost.
about if I have one in the, I have a large house, I have one in the, bathroom at the other end of the house and one, one in the basement? and-
The range is about 500 feet.
Okay.
5 to 600 feet range.
Okay.
So there's no problem. You can centrally locate. Now this will be in the garage, which will not be more than 500 feet away from the last point. You can have multiple hubs, if you would like.
Okay.
So we sell a hub without the garage opener as well that you can use in another location.
What's the price point on that?
About $100 as well. It'll be a little bit less than $100.
So
Without the light.
you sell a package where you can get like the typical smoke detector, garage,
So we sell that. This will come with to retrofit your existing garage door. Sorry, it comes with a door sensor, so it'll tell if the door is open or closed, and we'll tell with the unit also. The other part that it also has a bright LED light in here. There's a bright LED panel. So once it's mounted, it provides lighting in your garage as well. So when you open it, when you activate the door, not only that maybe your old light bulb in your old garage doesn't give you enough light, this is like about a 100-watt light bulb, LED light bulb that lights up the whole
won't
garage.
burn out either.
Right, and they will never have to replace it, exactly.
Right. So is there a pack that you would get that basic pack that has 3 or 4 sensors that are the most typically used?
Correct, yes. We will have packages with that, as currently we have with our other hub. We have a basic package with a motion sensor, window detector, starter package, about the $100 range. Some with multiple doors and sensors, and some with a camera.
So you can kind of mix and match or add on once you're into the...
You can mix and match and put how many sensors you want, just to give you an idea of the... you can, other garage door openers. We have all sorts of keypads, motion sensors, window door cameras,
Is
lighting.
there one central hub that marries all these together?
That's what this does.
Okay, but is there one central hub that you would only need one hub, or do you have to get relays based on the size of the house?
No, they all go to this hub.
Okay.
Everything communicates to this hub.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are there extenders? Do you ever run in a situation where something is too
We
far out
have
of range?
extenders, but we rarely run into that
You
situation.
really need 'em?
Yeah. Yeah, we do have some extender plugs that add on to the
No, I
other.
was just curious.
Yeah, but they rarely do require.
Okay, so let's talk about a particular type of sensor. Again, you have a vacation home, and it's back east. We're out here, out west, and it's freezing out there, and you really don't want the pipes to break. You have a detector that will sense water.
We have a water leakage detector. You can put multiples. You can put it in your basement. You can put it in the bathroom or a dishwasher, washing machine, or whatever. And you just put it simply on the floor if the water detects.
Right,
or
it will alarm you.
Yeah, it will
Okay,
alarm.
I have a request. I want one that will go onto the main of the house, and if it starts running water, there's a little flywheel in it, and it says, hey, there's water running, and then it will shut it off. Come on, what a great idea.
It is. Actually, we were at other shows, and there's quite a few. It is used a lot more in the farming and
Yeah, but I was
agriculture.
talking about someone's home. I mean, I don't need to
Yes.
tell you what happens if a pipe freezes and you're not around.
There are,
and it would fit perfectly in your
Exactly.
repertoire there. What a great.
We've looked at many other
I'm
units.
trying
like that.
hard,
I
guys.
know. We've looked at many units. The one part is that your water pipe coming in usually has a big twist faucet.
Yeah.
To mechanically, you can't mechanically turn that, or some have a handle. There are some retrofits that turn a handle, but anything else, somebody would have to cut the pipe and need professional installation from a plumber.
But I would,
so they have to.
I think there are people that I would do that in the blink of an eye.
Yeah.
Because hiring a plumber to do that
would save
versus
payback
going through
exactly,
a wrecking. I had a house that actually happened to. And
You
oh
were
my
for
God,
a
it was
couple of days.
hundreds of thousands of
Yeah.
dollars of damage.
Yeah, your whole basement is gone.
Oh yeah, well the house. I had a
Yeah,
floor
yeah,
cave in.
yeah,
The
yeah.
pipe broke. Heating
yeah,
pipe
yeah.
broke
All
on
from
the third
upstairs.
floor. No one was home.
Yeah.
And it destroyed the house. I mean, it literally destroyed the house. The
It
whole
ran
ceiling caved
For
in.
how long? It just ran.
How long was the house down for?
No, the water ran for
2 days.
2 days, eh?
It was bad.
Yeah.
And if I had a unit like that, that would have never
We've
happened.
looked at units like that. We're trying to find something on the market that can retrofit. There's, like we said, there's some manufacturers that have something. It would need to be obviously cut into your pipe and
Of
fit
course,
there.
no question.
Yeah, to seem like that. But that's something, it's a good idea we could be working on.
All right. So next year, Frank, when you
Maybe
come
we'll
back
bring
and
the
visit
water.
us,
We'll bring
that would
the
be
water.
awesome.
We'll bring the
Well, you
water
have a
to it.
phenomenal product line. It's been around for a while. It's tried and true and proven and works well, and
been around.
very reasonably priced for sure. If people wanted more information on Skylink, where would they go?
SkylinkHome.com.
SkylinkHome.com.
Yep.
Great.
Available through major retailers right now. Not this unit, but all their other
Right.
products.
When's this going to be ready?
Spring.
That's a
So
great idea.
yeah.
I really like it.
You know, with all the smart, all the new garage openers have this smart Wi-Fi, but many people have these old openers that work fine, and they don't want to go through the trouble of replacing it and changing
Now, but you
it.
went the extra effort because the CO2 detector is really a great feature. And also the ability to have that light that's not going to burn out is a great feature, too.
Exactly.
So, well, thank you so much for joining us on the Gadget Professor Show.
Thank you very much.
Wish you the best. Thank you.
Thank you. You're very welcome.
This is Don Bain, the Gadget Professor. We will be right back.
Yeah, there we go. Leave this for sure.
Great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Have a good one.
Okay, thank you.
Done. Hi. What was the company? Come on in. Come on in.
Is that yours?
Oh, that's mine. That's mine. That's mine.
You can do that. That's long for him.
Okay, great. You all ready?
Yeah, so we need these on?
Oh, yeah.
Alright. I go by AJ.
Pardon me?
Go by AJ.
Fair enough. All right, you all ready?
I'm ready.
All right, we're going to go back live. Hey, hello everyone, it's Don Bain, the Gadget Professor. We're coming to you live and absolutely in color from CES 2018. We're doing a new interview probably every 3 minutes at this point. That was a long interview we had, the last two, but absolutely fascinating, just fascinating. And right now we have AJ?
I go by AJ. AJ
okay,
Girth.
AJ it is. AJ, I'm Don Bain, the Gadget
Don,
Professor.
good to meet you.
Thank you so much for joining us today, and tell us a little bit about OWC.
OWC, we're actually celebrating our 30th anniversary this year. We have been a company that has been dedicated to getting more life and more use out of your technology. Started in the Mac space, have now expanded into Windows as well, including both internal and external accessories, storage, connectivity.
That's great. And usually every year you have something new. Anything new this year?
So this year we have several new. All around Thunderbolt 3. So as everybody knows, Thunderbolt 3 just had a big announcement yesterday with some new technology. But we have brought out a new Thunderbolt 3 dock that allows you to connect.
Yeah, your docks are unbelievable. I happen to have one or two of those docks, and I got to tell you, those things are, I would not want to be without it.
I'm the same way at my desk.
Yeah.
I just plug in and I'm back up running. So we have a new one, Thunderbolt 3, adds Windows compatibility.
That's new.
Mm-hmm. And right now in our demo suite, we actually have hooked up to a PC, a Dell laptop, and a Mac. It is charging both simultaneously. It's only connected to one as its actual host, but it can charge both computers simultaneously.
Okay. So tell me about the functionality of these hubs. What kind of functionality? It's not just USB. There's or Thunderbolt. There's usually a bunch of things.
No, so it's Thunderbolt connectivity. That gives you another Thunderbolt port, so you can keep the chain going. We have multiple USB ports, including one for high-speed charging, high-power charging, right in the front.
Right.
We have audio in and out. We have an SD card reader, which is something you really don't see in a lot of docks.
No, that's
There's very few.
so handy.
Mm-hmm. You got to get your media.
Especially today, yeah.
And the slot is gone for most computers.
Absolutely.
Gigabit Ethernet. And then on the display side, we went with mini DisplayPort. But we went the extra mile and put DisplayPort++, which allows you to connect to, well, if you want to go all the way back to VGA, but the key is you do it with passive adapters. So it's basically just a cable that has a different connector on both ends. And there's no active adapter in the middle that interferes with your frame rates and so forth.
That's what makes those hubs so versatile. I mean, that's and so valuable. I mean, that's the functionality that you get literally saves your computer and makes it compatible with everybody everywhere. And that's so important. Give me a feel for the price points on some of these.
For our dock, we're keeping it at $279 for the new Windows and Mac compatible dock. And the reason we dropped the price a little bit, the old one, which is still going to be around, was $299. But in order to support Windows, we had to give up FireWire. So we're going to keep the original dock around for as long as we can for the people who still require FireWire. But the dock going forward will have...
FireWire never made it in my brain.
There's still...
never... I mean, I know there's pockets, but...
There's pockets, and there's still, like, I got that one drive.
Yeah.
And I need to get the media off.
I just think it was a failure. Personally. I mean, I just...
Well, Thunderbolt replaced it. Thunderbolt is way more powerful, versatile.
Gotcha.